and Otter Player Podcast. And we have a new logo. Hey,
Finally.
Innate, feel free to give a shout out to the person that did the logo and our banners.
Yeah, that was actually ran into a neighbor of mine. She is actually on Instagram as uh I'll spell it because it's like you won't really
Type
be
it.
able to see it,
Just
but
type it in chat.
yeah, I'll type it in chat. But
Yeah.
her name is Ko uh Moana Kile. It is a Hawaiian name. She is actually moving back to Hawaii pretty soon. Turns out she graduated um with a degree in art design, and I happened to catch her one day and asked her about the logo. So she hooked it up, and she does do logo. Her specialty is actually logo designs. So yeah, if people want to reach out, they can definitely contact her, and she's always down to do some work. Remember though, art takes time, so and you gotta always gotta know what you want when you're reaching out, so you can give her an idea. And feedback is important, and that's how we ended up with the logo we have now, which the panel really likes. And like I said, I'll
Super,
type
super
her
cute.
Instagram in the chat.
Even my wife loved it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Um, but yeah, um, enough about that. Logo is all great and all, but news, that's what we're here for. And gaming. But more importantly, news right now. But before we do so, let's jump to the intros. This week, not a lot of things happened, so this is why there is no real news where you're like, okay, holy shit. The only thing that I can think about is Rise of Ronin getting a 70 something on meta. I'm like, damn. But we have two people that actually playing the game and they're gonna break it down for you guys. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly about this game. So yeah, and Nate, how are you, man? And what you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. I have obviously been playing Rise of the Ronin. Uh, Me and Morgan picked it up on release night. Um, that's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. The emergent gameplay mechanics have been really making the game a lot better. They did a lot of really great things with the game, but we'll talk about that when we get to that topic. I've also been playing Unicorn Overlord heavily. The game is absolutely addicting. I never want to stop
Yeah, it
playing
is
it.
fun.
Yeah, the demo just didn't. I mean, I don't think I spent enough time to really do it justice. I just kind of played it and I was like, I like what I see. And, I had the stars $20 off. So I got it for $40 and picked it up. And I'm glad I did because it's been amazing. The characters, the world building, just the overarching story. Um, it's just been incredible. And uh, I'm a huge fan of strategy games, so this has just been phenomenal for me. Honestly, my favorite Vanillaware game by far. Uh, I can tell you. So that's a big
That's
step
some high
up for me.
praise.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
man.
So yeah, they're making me more and more of a fan as they go along. I enjoyed what I have
If you
played of
love
13
this,
Sentinels as well. So
there is that one with the witch, which is another great game I wanna play. I played the demo for it.
Grim Grimoire.
Um,
is that
Morgan, how are you? What you been playing?
is that what you were talking about? Did he not hear? Did you not hear Weeb?
No. What did you say, Weep?
He said Grim
Grim
Grimoire.
Grimoire.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's an RTS game, but 2D.
Ah, okay.
He,
Gotcha.
he would still gobble it up. He's he will become a fan.
Yeah, yeah. Go
So
ahead,
yeah,
Morgan.
and Morgan, how are you? What you been playing?
I'm good. Uh, been kind of juggling a bunch of games from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to Rise of the Ronin and Hi-Fi Rush. I'm having a good time with all of them. Uh,
Been on that
you know,
buffet, be eating
just
everything.
I know. I'm just trying to find a way to balance everything and hopefully get through at least get through one of these damn games before like Stella Blade comes out and
How,
and Nate wants me to play.
how's
Um,
hi-fi?
I said it was good. It's
But
good.
how
I'm
good?
enjoying it.
Does the DualSense add to it?
It's minuscule, but
Uh,
but regardless, I'm still enjoying the game. I think it's a good game.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I plan on hopefully platinum that. That's something I want to do. But
Oh, that would be interesting.
yeah. But yeah, I'm just hoping to finish something before freaking Stella Blade comes out and Nate wants me
I
to
mean,
try Unicorn
you have
Overlord and
you have till next month, right?
yeah, but I still have it's 3 games though, so we'll see. We'll see.
3
Hopefully.
How
And
massive
far are you
games.
in Rebus?
I'm not sure. I don't maybe chapter 7. I don't remember. It's been like
Oh,
a few
okay.
days since I've been on it.
Uh,
But
and you in it?
I'm like 3 chapters behind her. I'm
Yeah.
like in the start of Juno. Like I just did. Uh, Morgan helped me do what was it? The fort.
or Condor.
Yeah,
For Condor, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I feel.
But yeah. So that's what I've been doing, struggling, and I keep buying more games. So I guess that's my fault.
And Persona 3 Reload,
And Persona 3, another game I want to play, and another game I'm really enjoying.
and
So
Pentiment.
And
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 Pentiment, I gotta get through
what
that
you
sometime.
call it? What's that game? Grand Blue?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have to go back and finish Grand Blue. Like, there's just
I
too many
haven't
games.
because I have yet to touch it myself. It's too many games.
Oh,
Um, we fucking congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah, I got that plat.
You got that
Yeah,
plat.
Hell yeah.
So
finally.
now that you have honored Ishiben, what's your next objective?
What's my next objective?
Yeah,
I mean,
which
my next game, you mean? Or what?
yeah,
Yeah. Of course, Rebirth.
Not Force
Uh,
Rebirth. Oh,
yeah.
which one?
Well, which one do you think, Omar?
Oh, reverse.
Omar,
Good guess.
I think you need to turn Weeb up on your end because we can all
Uh,
Give
hear
me
him
a
clearly, and you can't.
give me a second. I will turn them a little bit louder. Here, continue.
yeah, Rebirth. You guessed right. Um, but yeah, first of all, Infinite Wealth, absolutely my goatee this year so far. Uh, Absolutely amazing game. Loved it from beginning to end. So getting that platinum was, of course, a no-brainer. Fortunately, was really doable this time around. Because 7, it was really annoying because of the grind. But here, there was barely any grind, and they had like the only trophy I had left after I finished the story was getting to level 70 with Ichiban, which was pretty easy to do because there was an extra dungeon that was unlocked after you complete the story. And I mean, I didn't even need to complete it to get to level 70, so that was pretty easy. Um, but yeah, I mean, amazing, game improved on the previous entry in every aspect. Great gameplay, great story. Love the characters. I really have to say, like, this is like a golden combination with Kiryu and Ichiban, both protagonists of the Yakuza franchise, or Like a Dragon as it's called now. By the way, I'm hearing an echo. Don't know from who's coming.
Yeah, I heard it as well. But
It's yours, Morgan.
oh shit.
oh,
Okay.
whatever.
She's good now. Go ahead.
You didn't have to leave, Morgan.
I think she's trying to
Jeez.
adjust it.
No,
No,
she's
no.
having an issue.
I mean, is that not that annoying, Morgan? You don't have to leave for me.
No, it's like the Discord's acting weird. Like it kicked me out, and then I came
Yeah.
back in, and you were saying it was an echo. So I'm
Ah.
like, something's going on. But go ahead.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like there's something about the way they write these characters. I mean, Kiri has always been like awesome. You know that he's been like the this the ultimate bro, right? He's like the man's man. But there's something about him having a party this time around where there's just people acknowledging him that he's like always putting others before himself, and that they're like, yeah, no, we see you, man. You inspire us. Like we got your back, and that's really awesome. And Ichiban is just like the dude who, like, you often have protagonists that sort of like are sort of bit naive, right? That they sort of don't finish off their opponent because they sort of believe in the good in them, and that comes back to bite them. But Ichiban is like has sort of this instinct that he knows that, I know you're not, you're not, you don't haven't put your heart into this, right? You're not really buying into this, and like his instincts always prove right, and it's absolutely amazing. Um, so that's a wrap for Like a Dragon. And now, well, I've played before I started with Rebirth. I played the Sandland demo, um, which actually wasn't as bad as you made it seem to be, Omar. Though I do feel like it's a bit, there's not much to do in it. So it would have served better if
Boring.
they had actually story content. But gameplay wise, wasn't that bad. I hope you didn't play it on foot because I can understand that that's pretty boring. But it seems clear that you have to use your vehicles, and they have plenty
Yeah,
of variety.
I did join on my vehicles, especially at some point. I'm gonna talk about it when it's my turn. Um,
Sure, but I can see the potential there, but I gotta wait until some impressions
are you a
come
fan of
in.
the
That
manga?
sorry,
Are you a fan of the manga?
I've read the manga, but if I remember correctly, it wasn't like a long one. It was more like a one shot, I
Okay,
think. So uh,
because I came in blind. I had no idea what's happening, and I just played it for what it is, and it exists, I guess.
I
I
recently saw on YouTube that there was an anime. I didn't know there was going to be an anime for it.
I
yeah,
knew it's gonna be anime. It's
yeah.
just I don't know. I hope that the rest of the game get better, cause very few enemies to fight in such a big open area. And the worst offender when there is a flying enemy, you did damage to it, and it flies away, and it come back at full health. Congratulations!
I did not experience that, but I guess
I
that
did.
you got to be Omar to do that. Um, but yeah, I'm now playing Rebirth. Talking about pet peeves, by the way, I still find it annoying that the command menu is mapped to the X button because I constantly keep pressing that when I want to
Yes.
interact with something. And like, no, dude, I don't want to heal myself. Like, fucking
Yeah.
annoying. I'm
By the
so
way,
glad I. Yeah?
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead. No,
Please, sir.
I just want to say, yeah, I'm glad I have like the dual edge because I can remap the buttons. But I mean, it is pretty annoying. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
About Rebirth, what I think a lot of people are gonna miss is you can now actually keep constantly using something. Like, so the issue that Innate and Morgan were having with remake, it's actually fixed. now.
Yeah, that's fine. But hey, I yield my time. Nelson, go ahead.
Um, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Contra Operation
Contra, eh?
Galuga. Yep. Yep.
So, were you able to do the boxed one? The boxed puzzle? The
The,
boxed mini game, I think.
oh
I
yeah, yeah. I didn't know you could turn around. I thought that was like just the entrance. So I rushed it. I was
um
like, I can't break this. I was freaking tired too, though.
that was the same thing with the Yuffie DLC puzzle. You actually had to turn around. Back then, there was also a timer that you need to grab, or else you couldn't get it 100%. But yeah, how far are you with Rebus? I know you just did Golden Saucer and you're now below, but
I'm
are you
still
further
below.
than that, or are you still
No,
below?
I'm still below.
Uh-huh, okay. Okay, as for me, so yeah, um, Sandman, I think. I played
And
this
land.
Sandland, thank you. I played this demo literally at the beginning, last week on Monday during Vitamin G podcast, and I was getting bored out of my mind. Luckily, there was another demo. It's a roguelite. I played that one, and that one was way better than anything Sandland have to offer. And here's why I said what I said. Because even if me and I game a lot, I'm still gonna prioritize games over games. And Sandland is just not it for me. Maybe the story is gonna be better, but from what I've played, that's a deep tale. Even in PS Plus, I would not even touch it unless I have zero anything to play. Which, with the amount of games that are coming, is not gonna happen anytime soon. Going back to it, what else I've played? I played Rebirth. I'm at chapter 12 right now in Rebirth, and my fucking trophy. I got it for the piano. You need to do every single piano at least an A. I got it. This was rough. I am dreading the fourth Condor one. I need to do it on hard mode. I did one mission. I need to do three more. I'm not gonna lie. For Condor, I literally went to YouTube and looked it up. And get this, even when I looked it up, there is looking up and there is actually implementing it. Cause get this, if you don't do it move by move at the same time, it's not gonna work. Cause even when I tried to do it, it wouldn't work until at the very end it worked. So it's very rough. Other than that, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, Rebirth, you're a great game so far, but you have too many mini games. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks so.
Probably.
No, I've seen other people complain about it, but
But
that's
you don't have to play them, do you?
Yeah, that's like saying there's too many mini games
for the platinum
in
you do. For the
Okay.
platinum you
Yeah,
do.
so that's a you problem though.
that's a you.
How is
That's
it?
yeah.
It's
Like when I play Yakuza, there's like 100 different mini games. I play like 25 of them because I don't know
Yeah.
how to play mahjong and shit like that. So I
yeah,
don't.
I feel you. That's why I said it as well. But the issue with different is they're lacking story content behind mini games, and that way you lose me.
Yeah, that
Man,
that
you
I
just say
don't.
that because you're not good at them.
No.
Yeah, if I'm not good at him, I'm not good at him.
Because
I
if
like
it was
I like the
50,
mini games.
because if
Like
it
the
was
ones in the
50
prison too. I
boss
just did.
battles, Omar would
There's a
love
couple
it.
choices, so it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that shit. I just go to a
No,
different one.
Yeah.
the fourth condor is atrocious.
I ain't
And
been there yet, so
and there is the robot version of it, another atrocious one. All of them hard mode suck ass. But yeah, let's jump to the first topic in the game, which actually going to be Rebirth. Me and Innate, we're gonna have a conversation about it, and other can chime in.
Oh, damn. I guess I didn't
If
play it. All right.
no, I said other can chime in
why, why I
if
gotta
they
chime in, though?
want.
Damn.
Um,
It's an Nate and Omar conversation, apparently.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
we don't
it,
count.
He said like we an afterthought. Damn. I'm
both
farther
you,
than that man. Why I gotta be an afterthought?
Yeah.
you're not an afterthought though.
Do you guys want to be
Innate
alone?
is
We can
Hey,
leave this
no,
innate,
me and
podcast
Nate
if you
gonna
want
talk
innate
to.
about it, and y'all can chime in. What does that mean?
no, innate is the one that uh, talked about what's going on, and I wanted to elaborate on it. That's why I
Oh,
said
okay.
you guys
Uh-huh.
can chime in.
Damn.
I
All
didn't
right.
say it's just
Nah,
me
I'm gonna
and
let y'all
innate,
talk. Go ahead.
but yeah, innate. Explain your issue with Rebirth, mostly the combat aspect of it.
Yeah, so as far as the combat, the issue for me is not the direct controlled combat. That is much improved, and they did exactly what I wanted as an improvement from the original. My problem is how useless your direct party members are when you are fighting, and the fact that they don't build up and use the skills on their own, promoting the synergy skills and all the other things. So you essentially have to go to them in order to get them to build up the synergy and actually execute the skills yourself and play each character when the characters should be utilizing their skills and playing themselves. And you should have the ability to control how you want them to play, like it is in several other JRPGs. This is not a new concept where you can have control of the characters and have them properly execute skills in accordance with your play style and however you want them to play. You know, if you want Aerith to focus 99% of the time on healing, she will do that, and so on and so forth. But the fact that not only do they not really do anything in order to get them to do something, at least the basics, you have to use a materia slot to get them to even do that. And that is extremely annoying because, on top of that, that messes up any build that you would want for them personally while you're playing them. So you're having to sacrifice a materia slot or two in order to get them to behave the way that they should. And this should be, again, something where I stated, and this is a heavily Japanese design flaw issue that I've seen in things where they make items, there are things that are items that should be a system in the game, like a party control system, or in Final Fantasy 16, the auto dodge ability and all the other stuff that they made that were
Oh
supposed to be
yeah,
accessibility, that should
yeah,
have been a damn menu. But instead, what? You have to apply it in place of your accessories, which are extremely
yeah.
limited, and that is annoying. It's like I don't understand the obsession with trying to make I don't understand where they can't separate accessibility features and things that should be a feature or a menu system and not an item. Stop making it an item. Like,
This
because you're messing up builds and other things that those things should be used for, and that is a
Mhm.
I feel is a major design flaw, and it obviously seems to stem heavily from the Final Fantasy team, because like I said, I mentioned they did it in Final Fantasy 16 as well, and in here they're taking up materia slots to get the in order to for you to control the party members the way they should be. And like I said, and even then it's not great. So like I said, they definitely need to consider this with party systems in the future. And like I said, it's not that they don't have any examples of this, because Tales of Arise, a purely action-based game, does this extraordinarily well. But that is
forget
my issue.
forget Tales of Arise. Go to Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, exactly. So they've even done it prior, and
Yeah,
that had
like
an
they were
extremely
amazing at it.
detailed system menu where you could design exactly how they would behave,
And
and
you know what's
it
the
was
crazy
great.
part? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I was just saying it was great.
You know what's the crazy part? You're gonna actually be pissed about it. There is a fucking mini game that make you do that.
That makes you do that exact same thing.
Yeah, what
Oh
you're
no.
asking for.
Oh wow. So they made a mini game of it, but
There is
they
a
but they
mini
couldn't
game
they couldn't
where
make
they're
a thing of
using
it.
what you want. If, like, for example, enemies are flying, cast aura on them, or if your health drops down to half, heal your party members. You know, basic shit from Final Fantasy 12. Gambit system, that one. It's literally in the minigame, and it's literally called Gambit, Gears and
Oh
Gambit,
god.
or something like that.
That makes it
And
even worse. So you had the
it,
system
it,
and you
it
decided
does
to make it
make
a
it
mini
worse,
game
but
instead of correcting the way the party members should be
yeah,
controlled. That is
but
just sad.
yeah, that's the sad reality with it. It's not just Final Fantasy, it's just games in general. There are decisions. I'm looking at you, Hollow Knight, putting a fucking minimap in an equipment slot where you had to use you to be able to watch to see the fucking minimap. I remember that shit.
Yeah, that is extremely stupid.
Or 16, you said it, literally one of the best ring in the game. Once I equipped it, I never removed it. And it should have been something that it's in the mini game. And what you call it?
Yeah, it could have been something that you just turn on and off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if it's already in the game, then I can make use of it. Why the fuck am I supposed to um use the slot for it? It's almost clear the thing. They wanna quote unquote easy mode you, but at the same time they don't want you to be easy mode in the same sense, if that makes sense.
Well, it's like I said, it's a separate. It just seems to be an identification issue. They seem to have an issue identifying what should be a system and what should be an item. Like they need to stop making items that should be a system or an accessibility feature. And that's the weird part. And I don't understand what the weird obsession is with that, or what kind of design philosophy they're using when they're doing this. Because like I said, this seems to stem specifically from like a Japanese design issue. Like I said, mainly Final Fantasy being the biggest offender of it, but there's others, and again, the others are also still Japanese design games that do this. So yeah, I don't understand what the issue is. You also see it in other things. Just general quality of life stuff that, as much as I and everybody knows, I mean, I love Japanese games first and foremost. A lot of us in here do. Um, they're typically our favorite games, but I'm also critical. I told people I'm critical of my favorite stuff because if you
As you
don't speak
should.
up, yeah, you're gonna end up like the Xbox camp. Talking about it was all good for a decade when they were lying to themselves and it wasn't. And I'm not doing that. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to talk about it and let them know the things that they need to change. Speak about it vocally here and on social media, because otherwise they won't know they're doing something wrong, and they just see the vocal minority that just love everything that they do, no matter what they do. And it's important to bring this stuff up because honestly, a lot of the times, from what I've discovered and some of the comments that I've heard from some of the devs, even some of people's favorite devs, they honestly just don't know better. Like they're just lost.
We're gonna talk about it with Rise of Dragon Dogma too. Like, developers, all they do is they shoot themselves in the foot.
Exactly.
Every single one of them. This is not strictly Final Fantasy. Now Dragon Dogma did it as well. Every single developer that starts talking shoot himself or herself in the foot. Going back to it with Final Fantasy, the issue is it's quote unquote, how do I say this? They made a game. They have a story under control. Like the story have its amazing moment, but it have its dull moment. With dull moment, what I mean by that is the quote unquote busy work. If the combat wasn't that great, I would have literally raged about it. But the combat is so good, the interaction between the teammates is so good that it makes the busy work passable. Some side quests are amazing. Other side quests, I'm like, what we're doing here? It it's like they wanted to make something, but at the same time they didn't feel they need to put effort into it. For example, there is the steel materia. What's the point of steel materia existing if I can't steal hidden weapons from bosses? Every single boss I scan have zero fucking something to steal from.
Yeah, that's another design choice.
I can go to Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you could steal what you call it, hidden items from bosses. That's literally what steel was made for. Or
Well,
the
I
another
mean
one,
that or stealing potions and stuff, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you get showered with potions with this game. That and especially with the crafting
Well, yeah,
system,
because they have the
like
crafting system.
I don't touch my potions. Like 99%, I haven't touched a single potion. I have so many grenades, but I never threw one. The issue is throwing grenade is gonna take an AP out of me. And yes, there's a material that makes using of item, what you call it,
Not
free
take
of
it.
charge,
Yeah.
free of charge. But by the time I use that, I had already killed the enemy.
Well, again, that's why I
So
said a lot of this is like design flaws and how it's set up. So it's like it's fun, but at times there's almost too much going on or too many systems on top of each other that don't let certain systems kind of shine
oh yeah,
through. So that's
oh
why you
yeah,
don't end up using a lot of it even though it's there. And it's like again, something where we're like if your teammates kind of offset that and did certain things, it would make some of these things more fruitful.
another thing is the morph material. You're supposed to morph enemies when they're literally at one or two health left. And I'm not joking. If you do it any more than a few health bar left, your morphing fails. And the issue is when you morph and it fails, it takes away your AP. You used it.
Yeah.
And what happened is I need to find the perfect sweet spot where my enemies are not attacking or attacking just enough before I cast morph. Mind you, casting morph take a few seconds. So by the time I cast morph, they already killed the enemy. I'm like,
That sounds annoying.
dude. Especially there are certain areas in the game where uh, one of the objectives is to morph an enemy, or there's a mini game where the objective is to morph an enemy. I'm like, not mini game, a side quest.
Yeah, you're talking
So I'm
about
like,
the stuff from the annoying
yeah.
kid. I can't remember his name right now.
So yeah, I'm like, so this is very easy fixable by introducing the touchpad, not the touchpad, the D-pad. The D-pad, you don't do anything with it for the most part. So why not pressing left or right on the D-pad make your character stop moving, stop fighting,
I mean,
defending only?
it also sounds like they should have just put the morph ability higher to be able to actually execute. Like it just sounds like that was a poor decision.
The
Like
poor
what
decision is
like one or two like minor health bars. Like that sounds way too close to have to trying to
like
do that.
the amount of time that I would see it very close to death. I'm like, cool, let me morph it now. By the time I can't morph, my already killed it.
Yeah.
If they don't, then I would assume they will do. They focus on a different enemy, and I can't morph it because I still have enough health. I'm like, this is why I'm gonna go to the next segment, which is developers, and I put it in the time in the what you call it in
I
the
would like to get
title
my
screen.
opinion of Final Fantasy
You
Rebirth,
will
if I
get
may.
yours. You will get yours. I'm gonna combine it. But go ahead. What's your thought on what
Thank
we're
you,
talking
Omar, for
about?
making time for me. uh,
I didn't skip you. I
yeah.
can
Anyway,
cover it.
Uh-huh.
Right.
my opinion of Rebirth. It basically solidifies everything I thought about remaking being trash because Rebirth is so much better.
Facts.
It improved literally everything that I didn't like about remake. The claustrophobic ass traversal, the limited combat, the boring ass story. A lot of the issues
Wait,
that,
story is boring?
sir, remake story, I was bored. Okay, I was
Oh
Yeah,
bored.
the remake.
damn.
All right,
Yeah,
it's like it
them.
had its highs, and then there's just way too many lows. Like
Really low lows.
it was just too much going on, and I was just and like I said, mixed with the traversal and the combat, like there was nothing. Like if the story is bad at certain parts, I expect other aspects of a game to kind of alleviate that, but there was nothing to alleviate that because just the
Damn.
combination of everything of
Remake.
remake was just not
Remake
it.
sounds for you a 6 or a 5.
Yeah, I mean, what did I give it? I give it like a 6.57.
I think you
That's
No,
what
gave
it
it
you
a
was.
gave it
seven.
seven
Yeah,
and a half
yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
No, I gave it a 7.
Seven. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was just not it. Um, and I know people agree with me because everywhere on freaking Twitter, all you see is, "Oh my God, this is so much better. Oh, they do this better. Oh, the story's better. Oh man, Cloud's much faster. The combat's better." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now we can admit that remake wasn't it. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad we're all coming to this consensus. That's great. Um, but yeah, it seems that the Final Fantasy team was listening to the feedback of remake, and they implemented, like they kind of did like a 180 on the game and kind of just implemented all the critiques. Of course it's not critiques from me because I played it late, but it seems they listened to a lot because I think a lot of feedback came after people played the Yuffie DLC, and they saw
Yeah.
how much better Yuffie played than Cloud. They were
Exactly.
like, wait a minute, what is this? But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, UP DLC, you could see how they improved.
Oh no, I'm not trying to hear from you, sir. No, nah, hush. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think the story it's a much better paced story this time around, than in remake. I think the Cloud moves so much better. He's so much more fluid. He's so fast. He's much faster. I like the what do you call it? The combat moves that you can do with two people.
LP bar?
The
Oh, the synergy.
yeah, the
Synergy.
synergy moves, synergy abilities. I like those. I think that's a great addition to the game. Kind of, I think it builds a better relationship with your fellow characters when you can do like a little synergy move. It's cool. I like that aspect. I like that you can craft now. I like the ability to just, you know, forage around the world and pick up everything I need, and I can just craft as many potions as I want, and I can unlock the ability to craft even more stuff. Um, they seem to have implemented the Final Fantasy 16 skill tree kind of system thing going on with the little skill book, where you can unlock different skills for your not only yourself but other characters. I like that. I just kind of wish that we could do it in the menu and then you didn't have to actually go to like a library or a vending machine you know, to unlock skills. But I mean, it's kind of annoying, but it's not like a deal breaker. But
Yeah,
yes,
I have no idea why you can't just put switching skills in the fucking menu. Why
yeah.
must I go to a fucking vendor?
It took me like 10 minutes. I was like looking through my menu. I was like, where the hell is the skill tree thing at?
I did that as well. I was like confused. I was like, did I miss something? Cause I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
being super excited about the what you call it, the skills and how to switch them and stuff like that. And I
Hmm.
go to the menu and I'm like, the weapons doesn't have any skills that I can. Yes,
Yeah.
I can see switch them, but I opened a different menu. Where did it go?
Yeah. I don't think they did a really good job explaining that because then I finally got into a town. I was like, oh, I have to go here to do it. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
And then I
and
Confused.
was,
a ton of people have actually mentioned that critique. Like, what is
That
the
yeah.
makes
point
no
of that in the
sense.
menu if it doesn't do shit?
That
Yeah,
makes
like
no
why is that in the
sense.
menu? I don't get that. But
I
Yeah,
don't get that either. Like
I still, I
especially
still, I
with
still try to use it often, and I'm like,
exactly.
why is
Because
this
yeah.
here?
especially with them, they knew it was a fuck up, cause they literally every single safe spot or fresh spot it have a fucking
Little
uh
vending machine thing. Yeah.
yeah machine. I'm like,
Yeah.
why couldn't this have been in a fucking menu?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah, when
why.
I'm
Like
out in the
I
world for like an hour or two, I'm like, I don't want to go
yeah,
back to town just for this shit.
Another
exactly.
thing is,
exactly.
another thing is, why can't I switch materia mid combat? Why must I go all the way to restart the entire combat because I didn't know I don't have revive materia?
Wait. This is perfect. This
Yeah,
is
that was a
perfect.
remake too.
Wait, this is a perfect segue because this is my fucking problem with the whole fucking materia system because it
Oh man.
locks you into a specific build when typically in a lot of JRPGs you just have access to your entire thing of, your entire breadth of skills that you've learned. And in this, with the materia, as much as everyone likes the materia system, it locks you into that when you go into battle. And see, now you've run into issues where you run into one and then you have the wrong one on, and then you're
Yeah, I'm
like,
like,
fuck.
oh, this one is weak to
Especially,
electric,
I
but I
was
had already put
literally,
like fire or wind on it. I'm like, fuck, I have to
Exactly.
yeah,
wait until the battle's over
Thank
so I
you.
can.
Thank you.
Yeah,
The fucking
but
materia system doesn't work in that case. It fucks you over, actually.
no, it doesn't because I need to restart now my combat. And when I do, I need to go look up which materia I'm missing and switch it. Or oh wait, there's an enemy that can do fire move. I'm like, I have the perfect material for it, but now I need to restart my entire fight.
Exactly.
Not gonna waste that time. I'm just gonna
and it
go
seems
through.
like. Oh my bad. Go ahead, finish Omar.
But yeah, no. The more you talk about it, the more it seems like this game is riddled with nostalgia.
I mean,
Mhm. Try to tell you.
Uh,
we
and
said it.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about how do I say that? They they made a game. They gave you the ability to do stuff, but the time-consuming stuff that could have been fixed in an instant. Yes, the game would be too easy if you can switch your materia mid-combat. But get this, then make your game. The game wasn't difficult to begin with. If I'm playing it on dynamic and I am hardly struggling.
So wait, so that doesn't even make any sense because
No, it
if you
does.
no wait,
But
no, hold on, wait, I got
let
you.
me
Hold on, wait. Let me reject that point though. You just said if they let you switch it mid, it would make it too easy. That doesn't make any
yeah.
sense because you could just restart the match anyway. So allowing you to do it would just prevent you from having to do that bullshit in the first place.
Yeah, I feel you on that end. So, which is why I said with the bank, the rest plate where you need to use a fucking cushion. Despite the fact that you can fast travel to a Mongol area, rest,
Yeah, I didn't get the cushion things. I was like, why? I could just go to
and
a rest
and
area.
that's so fucking redundant. It's not even funny.
Yep.
Yeah, because I could just fast travel to a town and just use the
Precisely,
rest area there. I don't need to use a cushion.
and
Like,
rest, and then fast travel
I
back.
don't want to
and
have to go
fast
back to
travel back.
town though, but I don't see why you need a cushion. Just sit on the damn bench and be done with
But
it.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
this is
the bench is broken.
Another
this
Like,
is
oh,
unnecessary item.
It's not
this is
cushy
oh,
enough to take a nap.
this is why I'm
it's,
trying to. This is why I'm trying to. I asked that question. Do dev actually play their games that they're making?
I mean, I will say they do
How
and
can
they don't to some degree, but it's just like this is the thing I was telling you that I always see specifically Japanese devs. I'm not saying only them, but specifically them. There's always this. Okay, I don't think you played it, but I think we may have. But um, what is it? Dragon Quest 11, right?
I did?
Okay, so did you play the original Dragon Quest or did you play S?
I played the original one, but I didn't beat it. I got until I got that fuck you sword,
Okay, yeah,
that laser.
that's fine. That's perfect enough. So
sword.
at some point you should look up the list of quality of life changes to S, and that is what I'm talking about. All of them
I
made
didn't
perfect
touch
sense.
S.
You don't have to play it. You just got to look up the list. The list is long as shit, and it's a bunch of stuff that after you play the game, you realize, oh, it would have been nice if they did this. They should have done this. They should have done
Oh,
that. They should have
kinda
also
like
did that.
oh wait, so kinda like how Persona 5 and then 5 Royal exists.
Yeah, yeah, to a degree. I
The,
mean,
with
but it's way
with
better. Yeah, it is way better. So
with
yeah,
baton pass, with being able to go in at night.
yeah, go out
Uh,
at night. It's not as restrictive. All those
yeah.
things. This is now you see why I say it's a Japanese dev trend, where they realize all these mistakes and all these constraints they put on you, and then they essentially do a bunch of quality of life changes that release these constraints, and then the game is so much better. So they spend all this time designing all these constraining systems. Like you said, you can't change the materia on the fly. You can't go out at night, originally in, Persona 5. Your gear can be something you don't want to wear. So now they discovered what? A very popular system that's been around for a long time, transmog. So that was added to Dragon Quest 11 so that you can make your character look the way you want to look without it
Mm,
messing with your actual defense or other traits. Again,
that's
all these
dope.
things.
Which is what I say which I have. I have this fantastic looking sword, but it have only 2 slot materia. I'm like,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
need to sacrifice
It seems
power.
like when it comes to the materia, though, it
Oh,
seems like
I got a
they
question.
realize that there's something wrong, like that switching the material on the fly is kind of cumbersome, and I think that's why they added those abilities, those innate
No,
abilities where you can have the fire ability
Yeah, they tried to cover
without
it
the
up kind of.
materia, and the
Yeah,
lightning ability without the materia, and the
no,
wind ability
but
without
exactly.
materia.
that takes skill slot, not take skill
Oh, no,
slot.
no, no, no,
That
no.
take
I'm
away.
not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's what their kind of answer to it. And I could tell they knew that was a problem, and they thought that was going to be a good answer to it, and
That
it's
takes
not.
skill point from it. So no, especially with I don't know about you guys, but I have a fucking issue with how they implemented limit break. They
Mm,
implemented in such a way that there is
that you have to be hurt.
levels to it,
What,
Oh
that you
yeah,
have to
you're
get
talking
hurt
about
a bunch to
and
use it.
the second level,
and
the other level.
yeah,
Yeah, that stuff.
and
Yeah.
Oh,
And in every single, correct me if I'm wrong, in every single fantasy, you're free to choose which limit break to unlock, when to use, when you unlock it. So why the fuck in Rebirth I need to build it up? Like, my fight is not lasting for me to use 3 limit breaks, dude.
Well, again, that's another. Again, all these things are stemming from issues that I keep explaining to people, come into you not having access to the full breadth of your abilities, which this is why I'd say people keep thinking it's a turn-based versus action-based thing, and I'm like, no, you can still have access to the full breadth of your abilities if they put them in the menu and allow you to select them, the way that it has a menu system or a command system. Like,
It,
I don't know why they don't just do that. They keep stopping it, and it's the same way. Like,
the,
people talk about the different limit breaks that they had in the original, and all the different things that Cloud would do, including the very famous, Knights of the Round or whatever skill. But it's like there's so many instances in this that limit you, that you're stuck with a specific build or set of skills that you don't have access to all of them, and it's like that limits your strategic element, when if they would just give you access to all of them or allow you to switch things on the fly, you wouldn't be so limited.
okay, so I'm gonna say one thing, and I'm gonna make it clear. I don't know if you said it, Morgan, on air or off air. You asked me what score would I give Final
Yep.
Reverse so far. I said 9.5, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
From the sound of what I'm saying, the game should be literally maximum an 8.
There you go.
Oh
The
man,
issue,
There you
the
damn.
go.
issue, the issue arrived with I got so used to the issues that I'm not talking about that I can either accept them and move on, because that's how the game is, or just stop playing the game. Because there are certain things that are no issue, like for example, the cushion is not a deal breaker.
No,
But for
it's still
example,
annoying, and we
the
all noticed it.
switching the switching of materia, where I every most of the time my first fight against a boss, it shuts down so I can use scan on it and see what he does. If I don't have the right materia, I reload my save. Yes, it's quick. Yes, it takes less than 1 minute. But here is the thing, it didn't need to be like that. And I had to either get used to it or just drop the game
Yeah, but you know why the materia system is the way it is, right?
because nostalgia.
Well, exactly. It's tied to the original game. So now they've created this system that they feel like they have to stick with, because the reality is
No,
they
but
could
they
have they
can
c-
fix it though.
well, no, but I'm saying
They
they
can.
they
You
could have
never could have
just put them
changed your
in.
materia in game.
No, no,
No,
no,
you
no,
don't need
but
to.
that's
No,
not
no,
what
no,
I
no,
that's
no.
not what I'm saying
Just
though.
give me the ability to switch my materia mid combat. That's it.
But look, you could null
That ain't
that
realistic.
bullshit.
You ain't pausing a combat set, though to
No, but you
change your
could null
materia.
that shit altogether if you would have just stated that you absorb the materia when you get it. Therefore, you would just have access to all the skills in the
Oh,
first fucking
another
place.
another thing I said I wanted, and Pharaoh defended them. I'm like, I said I want the ability to put my materia away.
So
I
you
don't
mean like out
want.
of you mean like out of your inventory?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Remove. Why am I? Why do I need to scroll past so much material if I know I only want this, and this material on me all the time? Why all the other material must be in my inventory? Literally a box. Have a fucking Mughal walking around with me. Hey, you wanna put your material in this box? Sure,
Not a
dude.
mogul.
Let me do so, Mr. Mughal.
You mean like
Okay,
standard item storage that's been a thing in RPGs for years?
something like that. Something that even the basic of Final Fantasy have that.
Again, I keep stating these are the issues, the limitations, as I said, that they designed the game
Dude,
around, and
I
that's what you're running into.
I'm so fucking livid because now everything that I'm talking about that I have an issue with, it's fixed in Rise of the Ronin. When I read that there is no stamina during running, I was done.
Yeah, that's actually a really great feature. That's actually something I
Running
talked about with
outside
Morgan.
of combat, no stamina. Like every single game should have that implemented. I'm sorry, Morgan, it was your turn, but go ahead.
There's no stamina in Rise of the Ronin?
There's no
No,
no. There's
Yes,
running
stamina.
yes!
No,
outside
wait. Hold on,
There is
hold on.
stamina
in open world,
in
in
combat.
open world. Go ahead, Morgan, explain it.
There's stamina in the combat, but it's manageable.
It's
It's not
super
bad or
manageable.
anything.
Yeah,
Very
it's
manageable.
not like you're sitting there out of breath and shit constantly like you are in some games.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just yeah,
It's really well implemented. And then there's also stamina when you're flying the little
the
wing
glider.
things,
Yeah.
the glider thing. But that's also it's not that big of a deal because I'm not even using the glider like that really.
And your horse,
No,
There's no stamina on the horse.
no stamina on the
The
horse.
horse does not have stamina, which is
no
good
stamina on horse, no stamina on
because
running. What the
yeah, the
fuck is
things
this
that you
game?
don't want stamina on are don't have stamina, so it's good.
Yeah.
Like, that's legendary.
But again, quality of life changes in a game that typically, like I said, would make their game annoying or even worse to deal with or even inaccessible has all been managed and pulled back a bit, and it's made the game way more enjoyable for both me and Morgan. Like, we're both really enjoying the game. And like I said, if that base difficulty um is not it for you, they have a difficulty. Now, you can drop it down. So it's like it's yeah, there's a lot of things that they learned with this game that I think is going to make it more accessible. I think, like I said, their biggest weakness with this one is the other issue that I brought up prior with Japanese devs is that, and it sucks because a lot of people are going to go around it for that or wait for a sale. Um, but
Yeah,
the graphics, the
between this and
presentation,
Dragon Dogma, people gonna choose Dragon Dogma.
yeah, I mean, it's a presentation thing. Like the game just
Hmm.
like I get it, until I tune the setting the exact way that Morgan told me to, it kind of bothered me worse. And now it kind of smoothed things out. But again, you got to have the TV for that. So,
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
you got
We're
to
gonna
have it
talk about.
uncapped.
I'm
So,
gonna turn it back to Final Fantasy, cause we're not done. Morgan, say your piece, and
I'm
then
done. I was done. I was
no,
done.
cause I wanted Nathan to say his piece, and I also wanted Weeb to say what he
well, Weeb
think
hasn't.
is gonna sing.
It's
I'm
gonna
done.
have to wait because I gotta help my wife with her work stuff because they need my help, like they need my
Yeah, no
muscles. So
problem. Go do that. Let me know when you're back. And in the
it'll be a
comment
while
section.
because we gotta go on a 40-minute drive to her boss's house. So
Oh, okay.
there,
Good luck
yeah.
then,
Good luck. Have fun.
I know.
Morgan.
Yeah, I was done. I'm done.
You're done. Sorry, I cut. I
No,
cut.
no, you're good. You're good. I was done anyway.
I remember so many. So here's the thing. People say that I nitpick game. My thing is always have been when I play something and it's legendary, I expect the next game to implement something like that or exceed that. So when I play games that doesn't do basic stuff, that's when you're gonna see me get angry about it. And the amount of stuff that I just mentioned in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, I bet you money 99% of the people would say, yes, I would love for that to exist, but they wouldn't mention it as an issue
Yeah, most of
because
them won't.
they're used to it. I bet you money the hardcore of the hardcore have had to reload a save file because they used the wrong material or they forced themselves on the boss against the boss fight.
Well, I mean that speaking of stuff that, just because you're used to it, is not something you should accept. That's a very fitting terminology right now for what's going on in the gaming community, as
Mm.
people are having the conversation about the other game, Dragon's Dogma, and people bringing up the fact that frequently Capcom has an egregious amount of microtransactions, whether they are inherently needed or not for the game. They still exist, and people accepting just because they existed prior that it's a continued practice that they should accept. That's another thing that I find rather funny with people, considering because again, people keep forgetting if you this is a company still, right? If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And I talked about one game I told you did one thing really well. Well, I don't think any of the rest of you have gotten to play it yet, but one of the really big issues in Tales of Arise I had was the CP management for healing in the game was a completely unnecessary and ridiculous system where it was an incredibly hard thing to obtain. So you had to be
Yeah, I
very
heard about
careful.
that. I'm dreading it.
Yeah,
I
it
played that demo,
it
and
was
it
bad.
was so fucking helpful during the demo. But when I spoke to Kofi, shout out to Kofi, he told me that shit is not easy to recover. I was,
Exactly.
I actually thought that was a life improvement. I was like, shout out to Tales of Arise for doing something so good.
Yeah,
And
so
then I find out
it was bad.
that's some that's something that you gotta earn and it doesn't come cheap. Like
Yeah.
I know myself, I'm hardly ever gonna use that shit.
Yeah, it's extremely limiting and it makes no sense for it to have a different system than mana. Like it should just be mana, the same way you recover mana for everybody else, but specifically to heal you need CP instead, which is just an extremely hard resource to come by and is extremely annoying to manage. And you can only recover it fully ever so often. It's annoying as shit. And again, that
And
is
how
a
can you
prime
recover
example.
HP? How can you recover HP
You mean this
without
the
the
CP?
CP?
Oh, I mean
Without the CP.
you have items and stuff that you can use, but
Yeah, but still
again,
using like
that
there
depends
are
on
no
your
inns.
money. There's
There are
no
no inns you can sleep at.
rarely. I mean, you can go to some rarely, but I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah.
huge open area in that game where you are
I know. I
not.
played the demo.
Yeah.
That
So
one gonna be rough,
yeah.
especially with how I used the CP. I was so happy with it, and now to hear this,
Now don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
This,
I have the holy shit edition, which again unfairly comes with things that helped me
what does it come with?
manage the CP better. So I have things that
Oh,
make me potentially like use less CP when healing, or give me increased
oh.
CP to start with,
I
or
bought I
yeah,
bought the fuck Giga edition, so I hope it comes with it. Cause
yeah,
I bought that, and I bought it came with Tales of Scarlet Nexus, so two games for the price of one.
yeah. But what I'm
So
saying is people shouldn't have to buy that, and this is a nasty practice, and this is why I said
yeah,
people need to stop that behavior where they're like, oh, just because this company always does it, we should just, it's not an issue, it's a non-issue. And
it,
I'm like, you keep saying that until they make it one, because
yeah. I
this is the
started.
problem that people don't get. As long as you keep saying it's a non-issue, that's how these companies keep running you over, and they keep doing it, and then it'll eventually be something that becomes
Yeah,
an issue, and
and then
then
they will
it's too late.
backtrack.
Yeah, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden, yeah. So it's like,
yeah.
no,
Uh,
stomp it out while it's not
remember
an issue and handle it and say, we don't like this. We don't want this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. And like I said, certain things, like, yes, but again, like you said, there's certain things where limited economy, again, this is the way it's designed around the game. And this is because Gene tried to bring this up, but I was like, obviously, people won't know until they finish the game, right? Um, but just because some people don't have issues with limited mechanics in the way the economy is designed in the game, an economy, for people who don't know what I mean, I'm not just talking about specifically money. I'm talking about economy is anything that you have to manage, like your mana pool, or in this case, that limited CP pool. Um, Designing such a limited base mechanic can cause one person to even quit your damn game, because there's people I know that had trouble healing when they were in really tight spots, and they're like, yo, I can't go back, I can't go forward, I can't go anywhere, and I'm basically out of CP. And I basically got to fight this boss battle or whatever this battle is that's in front of me, and basically have a no hit run because I can't heal.
Yeah,
That is
that's
a
atrocious.
bad design
That's
mechanic.
atrocious. And you know what make it atrocious? Because they have stuff locked behind paywall to help
Exactly.
you. And do you
Exactly.
know what this remind me of? This
No.
remind me of Ubisoft Assassin's Creed. Remember when they put hidden XP potion behind paywall,
Yeah,
and people
the
said,
permanent XP boost.
yeah, people said that that's not an issue. You don't need to buy it, and then they lock you behind level what you call it, um, where you need to be a certain level before to be able to do a main mission. And if you're not, enemies one shot you
Yeah.
and force you to grind or do monotonous side quest. Look where we are right now. We are literally where people are defending. I guess. Before I go to the next conversation, Weeb, you have what's your thought on what we're talking about with Rebirth? How are you gonna start your run now?
I'm gonna start my run now. I don't think there's anything that's affecting my run
Yeah,
to talk
he
about.
can't really do anything about it. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, so
No,
he's just gonna experience it, and then he'll be able to talk on it more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add for that one?
No, not really.
Okay, then I'm going to fucking Dragon Dogma next. Dragon Dogma 2 next. Uh, Disclaimer, I haven't touched the game yet. I don't own it. But everything I'm gonna talk about is from the developers themselves. And I'm gonna start with Wait, I thought I have it. So basically in Dragon Dogma, they are telling you the ability to use a stone to fast travel, like that, and that shit. That stone exists in the game. It is farmable in the game. However, it costs 10,000 gold. Is that too much or not? I have no idea. But here is why I have an issue with it. And this is because of what developers said. Director says Dragon Dogma 2 still doesn't have fast travel, as its director says. You only need it because your game is boring. Then what happened? They they lock fast travel behind paywall. Yes, it's farmable, but why should it?
Omar,
Yeah.
Omar, can I'm not entirely sure if they said that it's not going to be in the game because I
No, no, no,
think
no. I'm literally reading it right now.
yeah,
Dragon
but
Dogma 2
the
still doesn't
previous
have fast travel.
yeah, okay, Omar, but Dragon Dogma 1 also kind of I'm not sure if they had it eventually in the Dark Arisen, but I think it also didn't have fast travel, right? Because there also was kind of the point was that you sort of had to traverse the game to get from point A to point B.
You know,
And
but Dragon Dogma 2 does have fast travel.
yeah,
It,
but very limited, and
no,
that's kind.
no. It's you need look. He said Dragon Dogma still doesn't have
No,
fast
no, no,
travel, as its
no.
director says.
Omar,
Yeah, quiet.
can you calm down a bit? Because the thing is, there is the fast there's fast travel, yes, but it's limited. Like you can't just open the map and say, I just want to instantly travel to point A to point B, like with Spider-Man. The thing is that they require you to buy either a stone Or
Yeah,
and that's that no no no. Let me finish. There is also apparently an option to fast travel uh, a little slower. You basically go on sort of a
The
caravan or
carriage.
something where you can go from A to B, and you can get attacked along the way, but that's also a way to essentially fast travel that doesn't cost you any money. Uh, the only difference is that if you have that stone, you can do it instantly. And like you said, you can earn that in game. Again, we don't exactly know how easy it is to acquire 10,000 gold or whatever the currency is. So that's I guess we'll have to find out. But apparently, from what I've heard, yeah, you can earn that in game. The thing is, yeah, again, it's a limited. It's a resource, right? It's not something that you can just do without using an item, and that's a choice they've made. And the thing is, like, admittedly, I never finished the first game, but I know from people who've played it, they actually said like they appreciated it because they felt like fast travel kind of um, ruined the experience in a sense. Like that, I think that's also what the game director was trying to say is that like if you have an interesting world that's not there's not a lot of filler in there, then yeah, you could argue that you don't necessarily need fast travel. But yeah, we've gotten used to it. So yeah, obviously most games should have fast travel unless you've designed a game like I think I said in the previous podcast that like a Metroidvania game, for example, because that often unlocks shortcuts where you can quickly get from one area to another. That doesn't necessarily necessitate fast travel if it's easy to get from A to B without wasting a lot of time. But for a massive open world game, yeah, that's kind of par for the course these days. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can make a choice. Like if you design a game well enough, and if it's catered to a particular audience and they're okay with it, well, then you kind of have a social contract with them that it
clearly
is
they are
okay.
okay with it because they're defending it. Look, I'm gonna list the things that are paid DLC in the game, and we're gonna talk about it. So,
Now,
with
Omar,
yeah,
here's the thing. Um, Again, neither of us have played this game, so we can't exactly judge it in terms of is it exactly is are they forcing you basically to buy the stuff to actually have a decent gaming experience, or is it easy enough to come by? And that's kind of the thing is, I have a feeling that because I've seen this with a lot of Japanese JRPGs or Japanese games, is that they're starting adding microtransactions, but they're not really necessary. As in, you can buy additional resources, anything, but the game isn't really designed in a way that you have to grind a lot to get them, or it's tedious or difficult without it. They're essentially, and I'm kind of thankful for that they're doing that without really changing the game. Like they're tacking that on as a way of getting extra money, but they haven't changed the game that you are kind of forced that which a lot of unfortunately Western devs do that they essentially sort of try to force you to buy these things because I think with Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, they had some point XP boosters or whatever, because they made it with some hard level caps really that if you weren't on a certain level you couldn't even beat your enemies, and that kind of incentivized you to buy them because it was hard to actually get there naturally. And if that's the case, if you design a game that way, yeah, then it's very egregious. But I do think we just gonna have to be cautious that we're not just comparing apples and oranges. Like I have a feeling, and again, I can confirm that because I haven't played the game, but I have a feeling that probably you can just play the game and never bother with these microtransactions. But they're there if you want them. If you if that's somehow saves you time, cool. But I have a feeling that it's not really affecting the gameplay for most people who are playing. That they don't really feel like I need to buy, or they cut out stuff that actually should have been in the game or should be easily earnable in the game by making them into microtransactions. I think like there are these often typical way they implement microtransactions as an afterthought, which is fine as long as they don't get to the point where they think, okay, yeah, let's design the game based on the microtransactions that you have to actually buy these things because otherwise playing the game is frustrating. And that's kind of thing is we don't really know that at this point if it actually is frustrating. And from what I've seen, at least, you can call it defending, but maybe these are just people, playing the game and telling you, well, it's not really an issue. Like the only person or the few people I've seen were complaining about had like redeemed it on Steam after, or it got a refund on Steam after 2 hours, which doesn't really tell me that they've experienced enough the game to actually make an informed judgment. Like if you play 2 hours of Dragon's Dogma 2, which I think is probably going to be a time sink of
The
hundreds of
issue is
hours.
the issue with
I
Steam
don't
it have
think
a different issue. Steam doesn't give you the ability to start a new game, so maybe
what
that why.
not start a new game. You can play 2 hours and then until you can, and then you can no longer refund it.
I was explaining what was the issue with the game itself. Is in the game you can't uh, start a new game after you already did that. That's why a lot of people were refunding the game. But you were talking about something else. You
I'm
were
not
talking
sure
about something else.
following
Go ahead.
you. What do you mean? Like the additional save game or what?
Yeah, so there is only one save file.
Yeah,
Ah,
so
okay.
supposedly there was a server issue or something going on with a specific version of the game, I guess the PC version or something, where
Yeah, it's a
people
PC version only.
even if they deleted the local save, they couldn't like it was pulling their character from the server or something. So it's
Okay,
Yeah,
like
okay.
which is
yeah.
why they refunded the game.
I mean
Yeah,
you
okay,
can
but
get one anyway, but yeah.
that's a entirely different thing. Now, what was talking about is that I saw some people um, complaining about the game, exactly what you're complaining about, Omar. But then they said, yeah, I refund the game on Steam, which means that you basically play 2 hours of the game tops and call it quits, which is fine. That's your right. But then I don't think that's enough time for you to be able to judge whether or not you can get these things easily in game.
Yeah, I get that.
My issue is again developers keep shooting themselves in the foot. Why the fuck are you gonna talk about open fast travel and then have fast travel yourself? Limited or not, I don't care.
I mean,
And
I
then
think you're running into the issue where we've stated several times that a lot of devs just need to shut the fuck up. I mean, we've said that
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, true,
Like they
true.
yeah,
keep talking too much, and a lot of specifically
Yeah.
a lot of Japanese devs have gotten real comfortable talking ever since like some of the interviews with Yoshi P and stuff. And it's like, yo, some of y'all have no PR training, and y'all
they
just need
think
to shut
they are
up.
celebrities or something like that.
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
just want to say something crazy and like I think this and and it's like they're just talking and they're not specifically it's not a reflection of the game because he didn't say it wouldn't have it when he did the interview. What he said is I think if your game needs it then or whatever then your game's boring, but he
Yeah.
didn't say it wouldn't have it. So that was one thing I
Yeah.
wanted to correct you on. He never said it wouldn't have it.
Yeah, that's definitely a nuance different, and the thing is like that's definitely a thing with if their native language isn't English, then there's always a problem of
Yeah,
mistranslating it because
translation. Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen that
I know
a
about this
lot
one.
where
It happened with Kojima when he said, and
yeah
when they said that he said all Americans are lazy. when in fact he never said that. Some people just flat out run with it.
Well,
I get that.
yeah, and I mean, don't forget that a lot of these outlets do have a vested interest in posting clickbait titles or misleading
Hmm.
headlines. Yeah, I've
They
seen
do.
that, like there's headline saying something outraged, and you read, and
Has
nothing in
nothing
this
to do with
interview ever points towards what you just said in the headline.
exactly. Oh,
But go ahead,
like
Omar.
Going back to it. Again, yeah, developers should have just stopped talking.
Yep.
Yep.
And also, make fast travel free. Thank you very much. And for the people that said, I'm not talking about you, Weeb. First Dragon Dogma had it. Yes, it did. But you know what it didn't have? Next gen. We're in next gen now. We are 12 years ahead from the first Dragon Dogma. Why?
Hold on. Are you arguing? Because to be clear, the first one didn't have it, right? So, are you arguing that because that fast travel existed when Dragon's Dogma 1 came out, right? It wasn't a new concept or anything. They
No, no,
hadn't
no, no.
implemented,
I'm arguing that they should have made fast travel free.
but well, as in not with the microtransaction, or not that you can they have to pay for it
Just
in
you
the
have to
game.
pay for it. Since when it's fast travel where you need to have to pay for it?
Yeah, but
That's a
again,
to be
depending
design
fair,
on
you
mechanic.
had that in Zero Dawn too.
Yeah.
uh,
Sorry, what did you say, Morgan?
I said to be fair, you had to essentially pay for fast travel in Zero Dawn. Remember, you had to buy those little things
uh,
Yeah.
to
it's
fast travel,
you have
the
to
little
craft them.
campfires
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
they actually gave you a golden one
Yeah, but you
in
still
the
had
first
to.
one.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
still had to buy
eventually.
those eventually. But you still had to buy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I did find it annoying as fuck.
Yeah, but it's a choice. Yeah, look, Horizon is like, it was so easy to get those that it
Yeah, it was like
was
really easy, so it
barely.
wasn't an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Horizon was
barely.
very easy. This one I have yet to play it, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah.
But again, like the thing is, like, look, personally, I would like to have fast travel in an open world game, period. But like, if the game developers have designed it in a way not to nickel and dime you, but just because they don't want people to just fast travel from between locations and not experience the world in between. Like, if that's a choice they've made, and again, if people the fans who play the game are fine with that, then I don't really see the issue. Then that's a design
Nah,
choice.
no, it's not a design choice. Because they're fine with it because they're used to it. Because they literally name dropped Resident Evil and Devil May Cry.
Well, no, wait. They're fine with the microtransactions, not
Yeah,
necessarily that particular thing, but what Weeb is talking about. So I'm saying remove the
Microtransactions.
microtransactions from it, and then that is simply a design choice, which again you're free to dislike, but that's not what they're saying they're used to. They're saying they're what the used to part is them talking about microtransactions. The other part Weeb is saying is just simply a design choice, which of course you're free to like or dislike. I mean, I literally fucking hate the fast travel system in, the cowboy one, Red Dead Redemption
Red Dead.
2. But I love that game. But the fast travel system is absolutely ass. And
mm,
I disagree with it, but I don't hate the game particularly because of it. So that's why I was saying don't mix I was just saying just be careful. Don't mix what they're saying for the microtransactions with that. That's
I
what the
got you.
part I'm telling people is a slippery slope. Is saying you're okay with that because eventually there may be one you're not okay with, and then it becomes a problem. That's what I'm saying. People are
Mm,
really kind of honing in on this whole I'm okay with it thing as far as the microtransactions. Then I'm saying that is some shit you want to be careful with because
So,
that's like anything else company wise. When they see phrasing, wording, and phrasing again is super important. How you say things is how they take it. Like yeah,
another issue for me is nobody reported on it in the reviews.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
they
was
they said
extremely
it
sloppy.
it was in the sheet or whatever that they got, but I guess they didn't really feel the need to report on it because they didn't feel a need to use them.
No,
They were like,
clearly they do, because a developer came out with a statement now to
well, yeah, because
explain.
everybody's bitching about it, so of course they came out with a statement.
But
Yeah.
yeah, staying in Dragon Dogma, um, the game got what, 90 something, and the game is running atrocious.
I think it got an 86 or 87, didn't it?
I thought 90.
No, I think
87.
it's
Never mind.
91 on PC, but I think it's
Oh
got
yeah,
86 or
yeah.
87 on console.
Which is worse, because apparently it's running better on consoles than PC. Hey Nate, what's happening?
Console master race.
Actually, it is and it isn't. So it is because obviously the settings are lower at a lower particular thing. It's also CPU bound, so no, it would not run worse on my PC, but it is also not running the way it should optimization wise on PCs that should be able to play it. So there is no reason
So is it an
that
optimization issue?
absolutely like whether that's down to their engine or whatever's going on with the way that it's optimized with them using the RE engine. The RE engine is clearly having some sort of struggle with a wider landscape than Resident Evil.
Yeah, yeah, it's like it works
Which
wonders
Yeah,
in linear games, but
which
exactly.
that's
okay.
gonna be an issue, cause now the rumor the next Resident Evil gonna be open world. So good luck with that.
Yeah, they're gonna either have to change engines or build a new one or something because that is not gonna work. It's apparently extremely CPU bound, and that's the main issue you're running into. Is that I mean I don't expect anybody to have my CPU. Like I said, prior to the very latest one, my CPU was literally the best one in the world. So like it would be ridiculous to expect
Mr.
people to have
Flexing
that.
over here.
Yeah, his humble brag that he always does when his PC.
Mr.
No, I
Flexing.
mean it was like I'm just saying, but no, I'm saying what I'm saying is
He's
like
flexing.
you should never build a game to expect people to have that. Like that's ridiculous. Like people with a 5800X or 5800X 3D, there's nothing wrong with that platform. Like people with a 5900X, which was my previous one, which is a monster CPU still, monstrous CPU. There's no reason that people with a 5900X in a 4070 should be struggling to run this game at all. Like literally zero. So something is very wrong with the optimization with this game. Like I mean,
I'm
people struggled with
surprised it got a
Starfield.
90 something
Well, I
with
don't think
this
a lot of them played
optimization.
it. I don't think a lot of them played it on PC. And then the problem I'll tell you right now that you're gonna run
No,
into
but even
with
the
a lot of them.
PS5 was dipping below 30.
I mean, I've heard that. I mean, I've heard about some issues, especially in towns, and apparently in towns the
Yeah,
FPS drops even worse. And yeah, I mean, there's performance issues all over the place with this game. The fact that my biggest problem is the fact this game got a 10 from anyone is crazy, because it's if you beat the game, there is no way you didn't run into performance issues at some point. So docking literally 0 points just because you thought the rest of the game was awesome is crazy. Like performance is a definite
especially when you
metric.
call other game out because of these issues.
Dude, Horizon could drop, and this is the thing that people, yeah, they always like to be cute and talk about the Xbox tax, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell you what the Xbox tax really is. The Xbox tax is you need to step it the fuck up. That's the Xbox tax. Yeah, your shit just ain't good enough, motherfucker. But PlayStation games often, and people know this, get judged on a much harsher scale to achieve the scores that they do, and everyone nitpicks every little fucking thing. If on the performance mode or something, freaking Horizon dropped 0.5 FPS, motherfuckers would
Mm-hmm.
be like, it's not locked like it should be, this
Mm-hmm.
and that, we're gonna have to take off a point. I saw like it glitched for about 0.3 seconds, and that's just unacceptable. So I had to dock a point. Like it's like that's the shit I'm talking about. And then you got this game coming out, problems all over the fucking place, and you're getting tens. Like that's my issue. Like you could give it a 9.9, motherfucker. I don't care. But a 10, like you're literally again, like people say, it's not a perfect game. Like yeah, we get the nuance behind the 10, right? But you're still essentially saying this game is uncriticizable essentially to a degree. There's nothing wrong with this game that
The
is
way
worth
this
docking a point.
game is running, it should have been an 80.
Yeah,
I,
the
I
auto
I think
text.
it's just the game is too ambitious.
I
To
mean,
be fair to
there's a
it,
there's
it's
a lot
doing
going
it.
on.
There is a lot going there. Like especially when you jump or fall and your pawn save you. Like
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
massive.
I give them that. Like their pawn AI seems to be incredible and actually does
The
really
pawn
really
AI is
learn.
learning
And
from you
yeah,
will
that's an
adapt
incredible
to your
skill.
own gameplay style. Are you fucking kidding me? Like that's elite.
Yeah, but AI learning and stuff is obviously a lot more subtle. But I mean, people have to obviously notice it. Like the person
Yeah,
who said that
and
they switched to their pawn, and at one point they ran up on the dragon to grab the person, bring him back, and then cover the revive, and then their pawn did it when they weren't controlling them. Like to me, that talks about a sophisticated level
and
of learning that's incredible. And unlike, I'll give them a shout out for this because I was just shitting all over Final Fantasy Rebirth for this. Unlike Final Fantasy Rebirth, your teammates are actually fucking useful
oh
and
yeah, they
they
Oh
do.
man.
learn. So yeah,
Yeah,
shout
no,
out to
they
them for
climb,
creating great
they
AI.
kill, they destroy. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
teams are always amazing. Also, another thing is how ragdollish enemies are. Like they be flying all over the place.
yeah,
So this game is doing a lot. It's just, in my opinion, and this is coming from a huge Dragon Dogma fan. Um, they just gobbled it up. They didn't criticize where it needed to be. They just ate it up because we haven't had a new Dragon Dogma in like 10 years, 12 years.
yeah. I mean, it was definitely a big thing for a lot of people. It's finally the game they obviously originally really wanted to make, and a lot of people are seeing that. Uh, Shout out to a couple of reviews that seem a lot more fair that kind of mention that, where it was like, cool that they really did this thing finally, but a lot of them have pointed out that it kind of feels like it's almost a reimagining of the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're retreading that ground and like, hey, we finally have the tech to really do what we wanted to do back then. And it's cool
So
because I mean it
forgive
works
us
now.
for everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's like, all right, that's cool, but you still got to get your shit together. Otherwise, like, and you're
Especially
running
when a
into
game
issues.
that just got released, Ronin got eviscerated.
Yeah, I mean, it did.
Um, before we switch, we're gonna switch to Ronin because PlayStation have won and lost this week, and I'm gonna explain that in a second. So, Morgan, Ronin, what's up? Give it to us. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying running. Um, I think the combat is king, especially with this game. Uh, that's what Team Ninja's known for is their combat, and I think they did a really good job balancing between, that difficult combat that they're used to making versus like a traditional kind of action adventure game. It's a really good balance. Like it's not crazy hard, like something like Neo or anything like that, but it's definitely still a challenge, and I'm only playing on normal. And it's definitely been kicking my butt, but it's a really good balance between the two.
Maybe you
Um,
just suck. I
Could
kid,
be.
I kid.
But
Go on.
yeah, but essentially like I said, the combat's really great, but you know, the open world's kind of lackluster. It's like really like you can tell like this is kind of like a first attempt for them.
Yep.
Um it
What do you
leaves a
mean with
lot to
lackluster?
be desired. Let me finish my guy. But
Okay.
it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to the open world. There's a lot of it's just dressing. Like a lot of these buildings are empty, and you know there's not much going on. You can all see this is all really just window dressing. A lot of the animations are older style animation stuff that you would expect, you know, us to be past, like this the clipping, um, the uh, the horse animations just
Yeah,
atrocious.
it's not fluid at all.
Um, yeah, it's not fluid. Um, Everything is just kind of as far as looks goes, it just looks like early PS4, right? Like they just really didn't put much effort into the actual animation and graphics. But it's like the combat though is just so good that I could like kind of just ignore it. I'm just like, ah, yeah, you know,
What about
it's
the story?
the story. Well, I mean, I haven't really gotten that deep into it yet. Um, you know, I'm just now getting into like the main town and you know, getting my
What's really going
companions and
on?
stuff like that. But so far, you know, I like the people that I've run into. There's choices that you can make in this game that determine whether or not somebody's going to be a companion with you or not. And you know, if I had killed this person, they would not have been a companion for me in a mission that I chose to do. So I think that's cool, you know, because if I had killed them, I wouldn't have had them. But you know, keeping them around, that was one more person for me to have when I'm going into like a main encampment of like 15 guys. You know, you want as many people, especially in this game where it's not a button masher. You're right. You need to know when to parry, when to block, when to dodge. Because you know you can't just go in and swing your katana and think you're about to walk out like you know just walk out like everything's okay. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure
and
Sunni
you know
Legend will, but not us.
yeah, yeah, you know, but essentially it seems that they've taken a little some examples from Ghost of Tsushima, one
Absolutely.
of them being with the combat you can switch stances. There's different types of combat styles as they call them in this game, and you need to switch the combat style to essentially what type of enemy that you're facing. So you'll have with each weapon you have, because there's many weapons in this game. There's katanas, there's spears, there's the paired swords, there's sabers, pole arms, oxtail blades. Like there's just so many different. You got the gun.
I
There's different.
remember, if I remember correctly, Neo has that same thing as well.
So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
it's not the same. It's way better, and it actually her saying it resembles Ghost is actually a better thing because the switching system in Neo was actually kind of cumbersome, and the way that they did this literally is like
Yeah,
verbatim how Ghost
it's
did it.
like Ghost where you can switch it on the fly in combat. You know, you hold R1 and you can switch using the R stick. You can switch between the different stances. I think you get like 3 stances per weapon, and you know there's multiple stances that you can have for every weapon. I think there's like maybe like 9 or 10 per weapon, and you can switch out. You can keep 3 in your loadout at a time. Um, and you can switch them on the fly, which is great. Like I could be mid swing and switch it. That's how good it is.
Yep.
And the thing is, what really well that they implemented is that when you're locked onto an enemy, if you're in a particular stance, it'll tell you, you know, this stance is not. You see a symbol of like a down arrows that are red. That tells you that that stance is, you know, it's a disadvantage to this enemy. Or it'll have like a up arrow that's blue, and it's like, okay, this stance is good against the enemy. And you can switch it on the like when you look down when you're locked on an enemy and you look down at your stances will light up to which stance is good against that enemy and which stances are bad. So it's really well done like I can look at an enemy, and within the matter of like 2 seconds, I can like, all right, I can switch, and there's like no kind of like hiccups, no, oh man, this is taking too long, or oh man, they didn't do this good enough. Like it's really well done. Like I said, I could tell they kind of, they got that inspired with Ghost a little bit, and that's a good thing. So, yeah, that's what's great about this, about the combat, and you can, when it comes to your character, it's got a character creator, so you can make your character how you want, and you can pick their backstory. Well, essentially, kind of their combat style. Like if you want your character to be more stealthy, or you want them to be about dexterity, or
Oh,
if you want them to be a
that's
smooth
dope.
talker, that kind of stuff. And those skills will be implemented during conversation points. Like if you have a character who is more of a smooth talker and charismatic, you can maybe lie and get out of a situation. Like there was one particular situation where I had to, essentially, there was a crowd outside of a door, from somebody who I needed to talk to, and they were trying to, I guess, arrest him or something like that. And they stopped me at the door. And they're like, "Who are you? Where are some officials? You can't come in here." And I basically lied and said, "Oh yeah, I'm an official too. I'm here to take them in." They're like, "Oh okay, bet. We'll leave and let you deal with it." And so I was able to get through that situation without having to fight. Because if I hadn't had charisma, I would have had to fight those guys to get to the door. So it's just,
That's awesome, because I'm gonna definitely have to fight when I get there.
yeah, you don't have to fight because you don't have the charisma. But I picked that for my character. But yeah, so that's kind of how the personality traits for your character kind of come into play with it. I like the characters that I've run into so far. Their personalities seem cool. I really only met, or kind of, when I say is like bonded really well with one particular character, because like I said, I'm not that far into the story quite yet. I've been doing a lot of like the side stuff and kind of cleaning up the town and stuff like that. But from just that one bond, he's pretty cool. And so you have like a main base, your longhouse, where you can switch out equipment. You can essentially, like, they have that's where you can do your transmog, which I like, because a lot of the higher up powerful, like the weapons and the outfits, they give you different perks, but a lot of the ones that I like, the perks that I like, the outfits are ugly. So it's nice to have like a transmog system where you can just put on the outfit you want and keep the equipment that gives you
It does
the
have,
perks.
so they clearly thought ahead.
Yeah. And yeah, so you have a skill tree that you can look, and you have like basically 4 points.
Can you
You have your
respect?
yes, you can.
Yes.
At the longhouse, you can
Nice.
respect if you want. So that's another good thing. You have like essentially four main components that you will build up, which is your strength, your dexterity, your charisma, and then your intellect. And those are the things that you kind of have to build up. And you earn skill points doing missions and stuff like that. And you can increase, and you also get it by increasing the bond with your with the NPCs that you run into. The higher the bond, the more they're willing to help you out in missions, and the more skill points you'll get from them, and you can learn their fighting style. Like I said, because you can learn like a ton of different fighting styles in this game, and one way you do it is if you increase your bond with the some of the NPCs, you'll learn their particular fighting
So
style.
side missions are important.
Yeah, and bond missions. That's a particular mission where you help out the NPCs that you run into, and you increase your bond with them. And like I said, the higher the bond, like the more you
So
benefit from it.
it sounds to me like this is your Days Gone.
Oh God, why would you say that?
Okay,
If it was my Days Gone, I wouldn't like it.
what I mean by that is Days Gone was another game that you either love or hate. And a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people love it, a lot of people hate it.
See, I think the really main thing about this game is that it's that price point. Like, I don't think it's a $70 game.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
from the visuals, not, but what about the combat? Does
Yeah,
it
the combat's
offer you,
great, but I'm just
but
thinking like
okay,
from
does
what.
the combat offer you enough that you think 70
No, I
is
just said
it?
it's not a $70 game. No.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I think this game falls more into like the $50 range.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game you would get on deep sale. Like I said, it's good. I'm enjoying it, but when I think of a $70 game, I'm not just talking about like graphics and stuff. I'm just like just next gen, everything that we have and we deal with now. I think it's just the fact that like animations are off. The world seems kind of empty. Like, yes, the graphics are bad, but there's like other stuff that you should look in, like that make up what makes a game next gen. And it just seems like they're still stuck in PS4 with a lot of this stuff. And so if it's gonna be a PS4 style game, then they need to
From
charge
the
a
look of it,
PS4
PS3,
price.
early
Nah,
and
nah, I wouldn't say PS3
PS3, and
because we didn't have these. We didn't have like the ray
PS3, a
tracing.
beginning PS4.
Nah, because
Uh,
I wouldn't say that because again we didn't have things like unlocked frame rates because I'm playing right now in ray tracing mode at unlocked frame rate, so it's like ray traced and I'm sitting around like
it
50
have ray
FPS.
tracing.
Yes,
That's
and yeah, it has three different modes. It has a quality mode, performance mode,
instead
and a ray tracing mode, and you
instead
can
of ray
unlock
tracing.
the
Why
frame
not
rates.
work on the visuals or the animation? Like, what's up, dude?
I mean, you gotta ask them that. I don't know, but yeah, it's just I wouldn't say PS3. I would say PS4. It's just a lot of things that need to
Early
be worked on
PS4.
um, with this game. So yeah, I understand people being upset, paying $70 and this is the game. But if they picked it up on deep sale, like 40 to $50, I think people would really enjoyed it. If they had launched it at that price, I think people wouldn't have been so against it, like harsh with it. But like I said, I understand people getting not liking the game when you're charged like 70, and then if you're playing for like the deluxe of like I think it was like what 80.
It was 80. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we got. That's even more. So it's just I can see people's issue with it. But like I said, I'm having a good time with it. Combat, like like combat's always king, and the combat in this game is A1. They use the DualSense very well. It's not like overly cumbersome. They didn't go crazy with the DualSense features, but it feels good. The DualSense feels good when you're fighting and when you connect with that counter spark, which is their version of a parry. It feels good. It feels like it just feels right. So they did a good job with the DualSense implementation with this
I see.
game.
Okay. And so far, you would give it a 7?
Yeah, I give it like a 7, 7.5. So yeah.
Okay. Innate, what the fuck happened to Team Ninja?
I mean, honestly, like,
How do you go from Neo and then Neo 2, which is Elite,
yeah.
and then you go to whatever this one is?
Damn, you make it sound so bad. Goddamn.
Now, hey, if you go from Neo 2 to this,
Sir, I think you need to play it before you saying all that.
I said I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
However,
they did a bunch of improvements and stuff with this in comparison to Neo. Like I said, the other thing to remember about Neo is still even though it was kind of open, it's more open in that sense of the way that um like certain Souls games are. You're like in a confined space in an area and then you go to the next area.
not open
Um
world.
yeah, it's not completely open in the traditional sense that when this is, and I think that was just a fairly big challenge for them, clearly. Uh Also versus depending on I don't know the difference in the engines that they're using per. I'm assuming this is not the same engine as Neo. Um but yeah, I mean they definitely either need to get more comfortable with this engine or work with another engine or something. But I mean I think this game was personally I think this game is on the right track if this is actually like Elden Ring was a lie when people say like, oh, if you don't like Souls games you'll love Elden Ring. No, the Elden Ring is still a fucking Souls game. Like this
Yeah,
is
I can't put people that says
yeah
Elden Ring is
this
not
is
salted. That
this
makes
is
no
the
sense.
first game where it has a lot of Souls-like elements. But number one, you have a difficulty slider. Um,
Amen.
and the game inherently, even on the normal difficulty, is not so crazy that it feels unassailable. I'm just a person that I just don't care, so I turn the difficulty down. Morgan stayed on normal. I just she knows I just don't care about difficulty.
Wait,
Uh,
you playing on easy?
Absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted though. This game will still. I'm not recommending this game to people who still don't like more difficult games, because they'll still three shot
Wait,
you.
on easy they still fuck you up?
Yeah, they'll still
I,
two to
I,
three
I
shot
said
you.
that the difficulty is still, you still have difficulty in this game, regardless of the fact
Yeah,
that
but you're
it has a
playing on
difficulty slide.
normal, Morgan. You're
Yeah,
still
but
playing on easy.
normal in most games doesn't mean hard though. And this
Yeah.
one, I still die a bunch of times because the combat is still difficult.
Yeah, like
It's
you can like
you can
fuck
still get your
around
ass whooped in
and be
normal
missing
because
like
it's like I
20%.
said, it's not a button masher. You have
Yeah.
to time it. You have to get your parrying right. You have to, like I said, you have a stamina bar when you're in combat, so you can't just go ham. Like it takes precision and putting doing the right move at the right time. So yeah, it's still difficult even at normal.
Yeah, the Morgan helped me on one of the ones that we played together, and I messed around and I had like 70% of my health and got accidentally caught. Like I went to do the counter and I accidentally got caught, and he rolled me into a freaking grab and stabbed me and killed me. And like I said, I'm on Dawn, which is supposed to be the easy difficulty. So that's why I said don't let it get you twisted that it's still a hard game. It's just they make it a little more manageable there, and I'm still keeping up with my weapons, my armor, watching how I'm building my character. uh you know uh you still got to be really careful, like I said, with your HP. Like I said, they can drop you extremely quick. Like I said, 2 to 3 hits can drop you depending on who you're facing. If the enemies don't hesitate to use all means necessary to dispatch your ass.
Mm.
Everything you got, they got. They can put poison on their sword. They can set their sword
You're
on fire.
your public enemy number one. I see.
Yeah, yeah, like they go crazy. Like I just saw like an instance because I was putting the preview since we were talking about it. The person fought on here. There was a person fighting at one point here, and they actually
What?
did really good.
What was the
Um,
thing that you said you got recently? For your skill points that you were telling me to get. Sorry to
oh,
interrupt.
no, you're good. It's the combo where we can both do criticals right behind each other. So if I crit the boss and we don't kill him, you can immediately crit him right after, and then
Do you know
probably
which
kill
one
him.
that's under?
It's either strength or dexterity. It's one of
All
those.
right.
Yeah, and it's further to the right. I think it's the second from the last, and it's like on top. I know it's on the first layer, the first the first set of skills. So I know it's like the first skill
Oh,
in
it's on
the
the first row.
first row. Yeah. So yeah, that skill is awesome. But yeah, man, like I said, the game surprisingly, because it took me a minute. Like I was like, I don't know, Morgan, I don't know, and then we started getting into it, and then like I said, she told me to try uncapped instead. Like, and this is the thing I hate to say, because the game kind of looked like, because graphically like the edges were bothering me, and this is another reason why I specify like I'm such a graphics person, right? Because the game is so demanding in your counter and how that works. um Sometimes the graphics not being completely clean, sometimes like the enemy's weapon may blur and then blend in with like the blades of grass or something, and I miss
Mm-hmm.
the timing on the parry. So again, like if it was extremely sharp and really clean, it would help for me to not miss that timing window, because I might misjudge where the blade is and end up getting hit, stuff like that. So that's kind of annoying, but that has become less of an issue since I put the frame rate. So me and Morgan are playing on the RT mode, but uncapped frame rate, which of course you need a TV with VRR in it. Like I think we all have that now. Um, I think we was the last one to get one, and I think we've got one recently, like a couple months ago. Um, so yeah, so I hate to put that as a requirement because that's kind of like a thing, and it's not entirely. I mean, you can always put it on performance or try other stuff that might work better for you, but that's what I found works best for us. Um, yeah, again, like I said, just I can't speak well enough of the combat in this game. Like I said, once you start getting the stances and you start really vibing with it, uh, lots of little touches, with the cats and some of the side missions are pretty interesting. Especially like the stuff where you're like she said, the bonding, which plays a role in who can go with you on
Oh,
missions. So yeah, it's I don't know,
I
man.
have a
I'm having
question.
fun with it. It's just not
Do
pretty.
you think this game should have been delayed?
No, not necessarily because if delaying it wasn't going to make it look that much better and run that much better, then no. If
Yeah, I don't.
so,
I think this was what they. This is what they were trying. I don't think delaying it would done. Like when people say, should they delay Redfall? I mean, no, because that's that's the game they were trying to make. It
exactly.
was just ass. Like that delay wouldn't have helped that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think a delay. Maybe it would have like helped them with the balance of the performance, like get the frames better. But it wouldn't have made it look better because that wasn't what they were aiming for. So no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
anyone have anything else to say about this one?
But yeah, also I'm right around the range of like what Morgan said, about a 7.5. But this is this is where this is like the thing because obviously 7 to 7.5 has been the very divisive area in gaming when it's like, am I gonna get a game day one or this and that, right? And the way that me and Morgan, have done it so far, like I said, it's been great. Um, I'm still glad that we got it when we got it. I'm having fun with it.
I can see this one hitting the 8 for you guys, if the story is that good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's getting better as we're playing it. Like I said,
Yeah.
once I, because I told her I was like,
Hmm.
if this game didn't have the stances, like even with all the loot it has, like it wouldn't be as good. But the stances make it so interesting, and there's so much diversity to the combat and the way you can approach each situation and
Mm-hmm.
assassinations, double assassinations, jump assassinating off the roof, from your glider. Like there's just so many options, and
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm a
So
huge fan of that.
I have a question. What are the limitations when it comes to the um co-op?
Uh,
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. So co-op
Yeah, cause
essentially.
I didn't hear you guys talk about co-op whatsoever. Especially you, out of all people, you too love co-op. So what happened?
um Nothing happened. It's just co-op is just not. It's not the entire game. It's basically segmented to just the missions, like the big missions that you do. Um,
Damn. So false advertisement at the finest. I
I
see.
mean, it's not false advertisement. They just didn't explain exactly what the co-op was. They said there's co-op in the game. That's not a lie. It's just not the co-op that we want. Um, so essentially, it's just. Oh, hey, hold on. Sorry. Um, yeah, it's just segmented to the main missions of the game. You can't really be there the entire game with your co-op person. And once you finish the mission, they're kicked out and back into their own game. Um, and you can't call in a person like I'm ahead of a Nate in the game, and when I get to a mission star, it'll ask me, would I like to, you know, get people into the party and play with me. I
Mm-hmm.
can't call a Nate in to play with me because he's not where I'm at. Like he can only call me
Mm.
because I'm ahead of him and I've already played those missions. So it's like it's really limited the co-op. So I've just been basically, he just calls me to come in and play with, on his missions because for most of them, I've already beat them. So that's kind of how it is. It really sucks. I wish developers would just implement co-op to be like from the beginning of the game to the end, you could just play along with somebody the entire time, and there's no limitations. But I get that trying to do that, that's a lot of extra work, and things that you have to consider, especially with a game where there's choices involved. Like who would be the one making the choice? If me and Nate were both in the game and we both ran into a person, our ally or something, and we had to choose whether to kill him or not, who would get that choice? So it's like I get there's certain limitations as to why they can't do a full on co-op, but yeah, I just wish they kind of had said that it's
They're
limited.
so outside. They're so behind the 8 ball, it's not even funny. Like, where is Borderlands 2 co-op, dude?
Yeah,
Why
so
nobody
that
can
was
touch
that was
them?
something that I was explaining to Morgan. So, to answer your question on a lot of that stuff, Morgan, so Borderlands is actually really cool that way. Um, Even if you were to make a choice or something, right? Um, in your own game, when you got to that point, like I told you, like say if we were playing the whole time in your world, and
Mm,
even though my world doesn't progress yet, uh, if let's say you, for instance, I started playing with you on the second mission and I hadn't got to the longhouse yet, for instance. I'm just giving you an example.
mm,
When I got to the longhouse, it would basically ask me to be able to skip. And if there was a decision that was made in your game, it could just ask me, did I want to kill the person or not? You know what I mean? And kind of catch you up through those decisions in like a speedway.
gotcha.
And then put me back where we basically both are in my own world. And now we're both where
So
we were.
basically, not waste your time.
Exactly. Not waste your time.
Not that number one. Number two, even if innate is 100 level and you're level 1, you will be fighting your enemies at level 1 and getting loot drop at level 1, and he be fighting enemies at level 100. And get this, you guys can be literally shooting at the exact same target.
Yeah, that's
Yet,
another
Mm,
thing. The scaling, lots of games have done it where the scaling is per person. So just because you come to help me, and again, this is why I said it sucks that no one seems to follow the drop in drop out co op rules that Borderlands has made
they haven't done
because
anything with what Borderlands does. The only thing that I've seen is with fast travel, where when you point your car, you fast travel to it. Otherwise, I haven't seen anyone do anything remotely close to what Borderlands have done, which is a shame. But go ahead.
yeah, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Like where you can, like I said, literally just everything is curated except there's not really a decision to make specifically in Borderlands in that regard, so they don't have to do that. But that's what I was saying, they could kind of implement a system in the game, a catch-up system in the game that would basically do what Borderlands does, except just add the decisions into the speed up portion of it, to
mm,
allow that bond to continue, or take you to the point, to the bonding area. Now that you didn't kill that person and you have them, okay, go through the bonding experience, skip ahead again, and then now you're back where you were. So there's just so many ways that they could do it. Um, and then like I said, the scaling wouldn't matter. So if that's the other reason why they're not letting me play with you while you're ahead, is also
mm,
stupid because like I said, they could scale the person. And this is what Borderlands does. So if you're 58 and I'm 20 and I jump in your world, I'm fighting 20 enemies, but you're still fighting 58 enemies and you're still getting your loot and I'm getting my loot
Mm-hmm.
individually. And if the same thing in reverse, if you jump in my world to help me, and the stuff's going to be scaled to you, and you're going to get drop scaled to you, and I'm going to still get drop scaled to me. Like again, it's
One of
just
the
a lot.
best. I don't think anyone have ever pulled that off yet. What they did.
Yeah, I mean, even Diablo, which is I wish Morgan liked it more because that's one game where it's meant to play, where we can actually play the whole thing from start to finish. But that
mm.
game had a whole host of its own issues,
Um,
when it launched,
I guess.
especially.
Have you heard of a game called Ectifiant?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't play it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of things they could have done better. But at the same time, like she said, I'm still enjoying it. And like I said, if everything still progresses the way that it does and everything I'm looking for so far, I mean, yeah, it'll probably most likely end up at an 8, to tell you the truth. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So moving on from this, going to our next topic, cause Weeb, you have nothing to add, right? Cause you haven't touched the game. I didn't forget about you.
Yeah, that's what you always say.
But you have nothing to add, right?
Nope.
Yeah. You can add to this one though. You're gonna be the first one to talk about it.
Oh, geez.
Congratulations to PlayStation. They won. Horizon Forbidden West was cracked in 30 seconds after release on Steam.
like I said, it would.
30 seconds, Weeb. 30 seconds.
That's all it takes when you
Yeah.
ain't got no protection.
Yep.
Oh man,
uh
that's what they say.
huh.
So, what, Weeb? Does this
Huh?
bode well for day and date?
Mm-hmm. For day and date, well,
Yeah.
We
that's what's
hope
gonna
not.
happen.
If they ever go day and date, does this bode well?
I think that's a rhetorical question, right?
And no, and I have enough additional information. Horizon Forbidden West released on Steam with lower player count than Horizon Zero Dawn.
All right.
Ouch.
Mm-mm-mm. Shame for shame.
Can you
Yeah.
guys remind me of a single game that broke the internet on PC from PlayStation?
Helldivers, I guess.
Yeah, was that not? Yeah, okay, fair.
And that's day and date.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking
Oh man,
single player
he
game.
trying to switch it up. Oh man,
Yeah, I know what he did. I know what he did. I saw it.
I'm talking about
But
you.
no, I'm talking
Oh
single
man.
player game.
I mean, no, but that's a lot of it because it's not day and date, and the people who wanted to probably played it on PlayStation.
Mm, but the fuck Giga Edition, the widescreen and all this in between is not exciting enough for people to pay to buy it?
Probably not.
Interesting. Another game that didn't do well on PC.
I mean,
Well,
I think it's
well,
like number
well.
2 or something in it on Steam right now, or number 2 or 3.
It's lower than Zero Dawn. That says enough.
Oh shit.
When your sequel is lower than the previous one, you have a problem.
True, but you
Especially,
have to remember, Zero Dawn was like the first PlayStation game to be on PC, and I think people were just so excited about that they just rushed and did it because they wanted to make sure that PlayStation was going to continue to put games on PC.
okay. Nate, what's your thought?
I mean, I'm just gonna say I told you so, because I knew it, and it's just funny to watch. You know, the usual detractors, the usual PC only players try to say, you know, it's a non-issue. You know, this is just how it goes, or whatever and whatnot, and it doesn't mean that sales were lost and all these other things. And it's like, well, it doesn't mean sales were gained either, motherfucker. So it's a net negative essentially. Like it doesn't benefit PlayStation for motherfuckers to pirate their game, and
Yeah.
so it's you know it's not a positive at the very least. Even if you don't know, you know, and that's
Oh.
kind of the argument they've brought up is that you know a person who pirates a game is not necessarily a lost sale, and I'm like, yeah, true. And I was like, in the regards that, like I said, I know people who have pirated a game and then bought it later. So it's not always an inherent lost sale or a complete negative either, because that has happened. Um, so, but like I said, regardless, like I said, it's a very obvious issue. But people who try to say that having your game not be piratable doesn't benefit is they're lying. So that's something I actually have data on for a couple games, but one game in particular I followed for over a year that was called Anno 1886. I'm a real big fan of a series
Mm.
called Anno that Ubisoft makes that is PC only. Um, I think it was Denuvo that they used, which of course everybody hates it. And Denuvo obviously has its issues, and I get it, but and I wish they'd find a better way to make it so it doesn't cause issues, but it does. But Denuvo is a beast when it comes to not cracking stuff. And apparently, the one person that used to crack it doesn't crack it anymore. So there are games that have gone on for a very, very long time now that use Denuvo that have never been cracked. For fun fact, Persona 5 Royale, when it was released on PC, has yet to be cracked. So because they used it, um, so and that's been out for a while now. When they finally released that Persona 3 Reload, same thing, still not cracked. Probably won't be unless they mess it up or they remove Denuvo. Um, and in particular with Anno 1886 or whatever, they or 1880. I might be mixing that up with the order 1886, but it's 1800. Anno 1800, not 1886, but 1800. Uh, but basically, there was a site that I used to watch where the entire point. There's another site that does it now, but I don't remember. But there was a site that used to be called Crack Watch, and if you watch it, literally the entire point was they had pages for games so they could tell you when the game was cracked. That was it. They don't store the crack. They don't tell you where to get the crack. They don't tell you none of that. It was just tell you whether or not the game had been cracked. And Anno went uncracked for over a year, and gradually on the page you could comment though, and gradually on the page over the years people bought the game, and people were like, man, I can't wait anymore. It's the game's on sale this week, guys. I'm gonna grab it. I'm ready to play. And you would just see people just gradually falling and eventually purchasing the game whenever it was at a price point they were comfortable with, or they had the money to finally go ahead and grab it, because it wasn't that people weren't interested. And I get different circumstances. Sometimes you just don't have the money at the time and you were definitely going to purchase it later, this and that. But to say that games being uncracked has no effect is some bullshit. Because people were buying that game that most likely would have never bought that game, and that goes into future consideration for that game when you support it. That they are going to continue to make the Anno series because they can see the real level of support that the game has, rather than a bunch of people potentially pirating it. Um, and I get some of the stuff with it as well, because like I said, there's other reasons why people may do it and this and that. Anno specifically, I have an issue with their DLC practices. I think they're kind of bullshit. They started to come out with expansions where like DLC passes. Expansion pass 1 comes with the first set of 3 DLC, and then they come out with expansion pass 2 year 2, that very Ubisoft like thing where they have the year 1 expansion, year 2 expansion, so on and so forth. So that's kind of annoying. And then it wasn't always worth it, you know what I'm saying? So then, sometimes I would just wait for a sale, this and that. um but yeah, I mean, if anything, this should show PlayStation 100%. They should never, ever, ever, ever go freaking
Ever.
day and date
Oh man.
exactly with their games if they want the support to be
Hmm.
to be what it is supposed to be and remain the place it is. And that goes for not only for their first party games, but the support that they get from both third party and second party games, and the free to play games in which they absorb those microtransactions, because people often forget that with all those things and the occasional things that people play on their PlayStation, whether it's their main platform or not, when they play those games there, PlayStation gets that, and that goes into all these games that these people love, whether they admit it or not. Which is why they're foaming at the mouth for PlayStation to go day and date. So I'm inclined to tell you people are lying. Um, but oh man, that looks really good. Um, I got distracted by the thing for once. But yeah, like I
What?
said, people are clearly lying, that they don't want these games because they're begging and starting, when is PlayStation going to go day and date? Every time a game comes, like it's going to happen tomorrow or something. And like the answer, like I said, ultimately from PlayStation should be honestly never. And it shouldn't be, um, like I told somebody the other day, because somebody was like, "Oh, the time keeps getting shorter and shorter," and I'm like, "No, that's not the case either. The shortest game to come thus far has been like between Returnal and Sackboy's Big Adventure, which obviously
Mhm.
reached market saturation a lot sooner. Returnal was only 1 month and like 14 days shy of 2 years. So that is the fastest they should ever port a game to PC ever. Period. Without it compromising teams or wasting their first party team's time, wasting developmental effort on PC anything, because that is the key. They should never do that. Continue sticking to Nix's porting the games or outsourcing it if they really want to. Obviously, that didn't work all that well with The Last of Us Part One. And no, uh, this was an argument somebody tried to bring up the other day because it's a remake. But no, Until Dawn has nothing to do with PlayStation. At the remake of a 7-year old game or whatever, however old it is, coming from a third party dev team, coming to PC most likely day one, has nothing to do with PlayStation's first party going day and date. So as far as their single player games go,
Yeah.
they should never.
So essentially, somebody tweeted that Until Dawn remake coming day and date to PS5 and PC was a sign that PlayStation was going day and date. And I'm like, that game is
Oh,
like
because
9 years
that's a
old,
remake.
y'all.
That's a remake.
It is a
Exactly.
remake.
But people
Like,
wanna.
But that's how desperate they are
Yeah,
looking
they
for
are
this.
desperate.
But
But
like I
you know
told
why?
people, you
Because
have
they
to be
want to be
careful.
validated.
Well, they want to play the PlayStation games, and
No, 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 no. No,
don't
no,
get it
no,
wrong,
no,
they will
no, no,
play it.
no, 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 they don't want. If they do, they would have played them when it went to PC. Because you already know PC people are capable of waiting.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people. So what I'm relating the issue to is what PlayStation would lose as opposed to not. So a lot of people who claim to want PC day and date for PlayStation have a PlayStation and they do play these games on PlayStation. And sometimes they also double dip. And they also play them on PC. But what I'm saying is PlayStation gets 100% of that sale plus the sale of the PlayStation hardware. And then the person goes on to sometimes play Fortnite on there, purchase microtransaction stuff from Fortnite on there, or Call of Duty, or NBA 2K, or all these other games that are not related to PlayStation directly. And PlayStation gets a piece of that. So that's what I'm saying. PlayStation would lose all of that. But these people, make no mistake, the ones who really want to play these games have a PlayStation. What they want is an excuse to never have to buy a PlayStation ever again
Yep.
so that they can just put all their money into their PC. And whether or not they'd support it or not is irrelevant because, like I said, PlayStation would lose far too much going day and date. They're not leaving money on the table when they don't go day and date. They're saving themselves a shit ton of money that they would essentially be losing because now you would drop, they would lose sales potential, the potential buying power PlayStation has when they present the numbers of the amount of people who have PlayStations is part of the reason why they're able to secure some of the deals that they're able to. If you come out and you sell half of the consoles you have right now, PlayStation would be sitting at like 28 million or something. You'd be sitting about in the same damn place as Xbox.
But
So
Xbox.
yeah, so that makes no sense for them to weaken themselves in their position, gain a shit ton less money because like I said, people don't factor in it's not a first party issue alone. What drives people over there is the first party in the first place, and then people get all this other revenue. Because guess what happens sometimes, even if it's not that individual, don't let it fool you. Some of these people who are like, oh, well, I don't really play my PlayStation like that. I only play it for exclusives and I let my son have it. Yeah, but guess what your son is doing on that PS5 when you're not playing it? He's playing Fortnite. Guess what he asks you for? V-Bucks. So when you purchase them via PlayStation, PlayStation gets a piece of that. PlayStation generates
Mm.
billions of dollars per year, billions, not millions, billions of dollars per year via microtransactions on games that don't even cost people money to play in the first place. They're free to play, like Fortnite and Apex Legends and so on and so forth, right? But when people purchase microtransactions via PlayStation and PSN, PlayStation gets a metric ton of money from that stuff, and that is why they're able to invest in these projects that people love so much. So PlayStation would be missing out on all of that. So yeah, PlayStation would be perfectly smart to do what they've been doing, have this minimalistic effort that, takes one company, time to port. They port it very well for the record. Because it is extremely well optimized. It has ultra wide support, DLSS, if they have ray tracing, it has everything they could possibly want on PC, and they get a great port with the complete edition, usually, with all the DLC in it, usually, and they're good to go. And PlayStation continues to entice users to come over to PlayStation, and that keeps PlayStation first and foremost, not only for first party but also third party and second party, and allows the gaming industry to stay afloat the way it should, unlike the mess that Xbox is in. So yeah, shout out to
Oh man.
Horizon, Forbidden West. Shout out to the people who supported it. I hope they're enjoying it. I personally don't think it makes much of a difference
I
playing it
need
on
I
PC,
need
but good job.
to stress this before people say anything. This was their top dog, Nixis doing it, eh?
Yep,
This is not some fuck shit studio that released it and it released unfinished or whatsoever. It released in top shape and still.
absolutely. Yeah, so all those other endeavors that people love so much, that people forget that PlayStation supports and PlayStation invests, like on screen right now, Stella Yams investing in these companies. All that money they accumulate goes into these projects where they're supporting developers in completely new countries that haven't had the ability or the money to get their stuff out here other than indie level. And now we're getting something, like Stellar Blade, and we got something prior from, the China Hero project, like Fist, and all the other games that have come out of that and are going to continue coming out of that. All that money, like I said, all these projects and all these really great games that people love that PlayStation invest in, whether they make it first party or they're a second party investment or even third party exclusive investment, that you do not, again, people do not want to see the day where PlayStation loses that incentive and ultimately stops making games, because that is exactly what
For
day
it.
and date would do to PlayStation.
They're
It would,
dying for it.
yeah, but they'd be done. And this just brings me back to the point that a lot of people are gamers and gamers alone, and essentially just need to stay in their lane and let the people who are concerned with the industry and like to talk the business and the things that go on with the industry, let us talk about it. Listen to us talk about it. If you want to inform yourself and you want to be a part of the conversation, cool. But a lot of people are just gamers and they don't understand the repercussions of the things they're asking for. um, I often see people say it makes no sense. Why is this game not here? Why is this game not there? And my question to a lot of these people is, are you gonna foot the bill for them to port that game? You want it on Xbox? Because that let's be honest, that's the real conversation half the time. Why isn't it on
Well,
Xbox? Are
well,
you
well. Anyone have anything else? Oh, good. I thought they were done.
No, no, no. But I'm saying, like, no one's gonna foot that bill. None of these people are gonna
Yeah,
pay half a
we're
million
gonna talk
Microsoft is a
dollars.
about them.
trillion-dollar company.
You just
Yeah,
mentioned
right.
Xbox. Anyone have anything else to say about this one?
No.
Okay, then that's a perfect segue to twofold for Xbox. The first one is, drumroll please, Xbox Series X and S sales are down 47% year over year in February in Europe. Hey, people are gonna say, but it's Europe. Mind you, PlayStation is down as well, 2%. And I'm not joking, it's factual information. And Switch was down also 70%. So everything is down. But there's a difference between 2 and 47, or 17 and 47. Um, EA Far Cry 4 was second, followed by Rebirth at third. Helldiver 2 was a huge top seller, 56% on PC, and the rest is PlayStation. So yeah, we go from that news to Antoria's the last song launches on August 21. Xbox Series version no longer planned. And here is why this one is troubling, especially if you're an Xbox dude. Shout out to Crystal. She is the one that did her research on this one. So I'm just stealing it. She said, my quick 2 pennies on Antoria. From my understanding, this game is part of ID Xbox program, which allows them to develop games for the platform at little to no cost. I had to look up what that program even was. I had no idea what that program was, so shout out again to Crystal. So far, a studio to feel that they are backed into a position where they have to skip or delay Xbox. This makes me think that, as usual, there is conversation behind closed doors that us consumers are not privy to. I see many people saying that just the developer's fault, but perhaps there's way more. There's way more to that. Why would Xbox Microsoft just allow this to happen, especially when they are in their program? Should the indie studio bear all the hardship of forcing a version on a platform that just don't work for them? I think, as always, there's more to meet the eyes. As stated on the wiki, the program allows the developers to work on Windows as well, which they are still releasing, and it's situations that Microsoft Xbox has allowed, as far you know. What do you guys think? Well, I'm gonna actually turn to you guys. What's up with this game? And I'm not gonna cloud chase. I never heard about this game until I heard this story, and I looked it up. The game is a Soulborn game. It's an indie. Clearly look like an indie. Lies of P look better, way better. But this does bring up a conversation what's going on at Xbox. Especially when you know how people say money hate, money hate, money hate, PlayStation money hate. You know that
Money
when
hat.
Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
3 version was delayed, people called it money hate. Now we have an actual issue and people can say it's money hate because it literally was an ID Xbox program. Morgan, what's up?
Um, yeah, it was part of the Xbox ID program. The developer came out and said, he apologized. He would just rather have a game that works great on 2 platforms and not just, you know, it works okay to below average on 3. And, so he decided to prioritize the PS5 and the MPC. He did say that after the launch of on those 2 platforms that they were going to work on the Xbox version after that. So it's not like Xbox isn't going to get the game; they're just going to get it later. Again, I'm not a developer, but I have to think a part of the reason they prioritized PS5 and PC, one is probably the Series S again. You have to prioritize for 2 different SKUs when it comes to Xbox because they have a parity clause when it comes to their 2 platforms being the Series S and X. And it's not always easy to try to get when you're an indie developer and you don't have the resources and the manpower. People think it's so easy because, hey, Call of Duty does it, Ubisoft does it, all these other, AAA developers are able to get their games working across, multiple platforms. But again, that requires resource, talent, time, money, and smaller developers like this one in particular don't necessarily have those resources, as they stated, to get all 3 platforms to come out at the same time. Now you have people saying, well, why didn't they delay it, so they could get, all 3 to launch at the same time? Again, a delay costs money. If you're going to delay a game, that's delaying money back for all the money that you put into the game. That's delaying potential, pay for developers and all that kind of stuff. Like delaying a game costs even more money to shelve it and to work even longer to get a game to come out on a platform that, let's be real, that doesn't really buy games like that. um, it's not the most fiscal responsible thing for a small studio to do. So I think it was a smart decision to release it on PC and PS5. People can be upset about it. Again, most of the people who are upset about it didn't even know the game existed. They're just crying to cry because, oh no, somebody put Xbox on the back burner and it hurt their feelings, but they didn't even know about this game 2 seconds ago. So why they
Yeah,
care, I don't know.
Exactly.
Um,
they
so
care. They care because the platform is dying.
I mean, they knew they invested in a dying platform. They should have known that from the jump. Like that's their own fault. We keep telling y'all Xbox is not prioritizing the box. They themselves are not prioritizing the box. They have the
Remember
slogan
when they said,
"Play anywhere." Like
yeah.
they're no longer they've said it themselves. So it's like Xbox is bigger than the box. They don't care about the box. They're not prioritizing the box anymore. They're thinking about the people who aren't on the box and trying to get everybody else into it's about the ecosystem. It's about Game Pass now. It's much bigger than that. And I think a lot of with the release of the 4 games on PlayStation, it finally woke up a lot of Xbox fanboys to realize that, damn, okay, they're just like Xbox just they're just not trying to be a first party developer anymore. They're really trying to go third party, and it's just like, I mean, we could have told y'all that. We've been telling y'all that, but sometimes it takes, you know, a child to burn their hand on the stoves, even though you tell them, hey, the stove is hot, don't touch the stove. It sometimes takes the child actually touching the stove and burning their hand for them to realize, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, it was hot. Like, and that's what it is. Xbox, like it took them all this time to finally realize, like, oh shit, Xbox is just not prioritizing the box like everybody else. Nintendo's prioritizing the Switch, PlayStation's still prioritizing, the PlayStation, but Xbox has moved on to prioritize the ecosystem. And yes, even a game that was showcased at Xbox ID is now saying we have to wait to make the Xbox version. I mean, they know, like, if they are going to get any kind of support, they know where that support's coming from. It's coming from Nintendo. It's coming from PC. It's coming from PlayStation. Like the last people to support games, and like they can cry about it and get upset about it, but it's true. It's numbers. This isn't fanboy talk. This is pure numbers. Xbox, they have the least amount when it comes to third-party support, and it is what it is. You can say, well, well, because I get my game on Game Pass, I'm supporting it that way. That's cool and that's great. But at the end of the day, developers really care about sales, especially smaller indie developers. They'll tell you all the time. We had the Moon Studio come out and say, people were asking, how can I support you guys? They were like, oh, you can buy our game. And Xbox dudes were like, well, I'll put it on Game Pass. And they were like, well, we don't really get support that way. You could buy the game, though. And that pissed them off. They were mad about that. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, we keep trying to tell y'all. They care about sales. Game Pass is great and it gives numbers. But when you're a smaller, indie developer, these, players, like, that's the metric that Xbox fans like to use now. The player count doesn't really matter. It doesn't move the needle for them. They're looking for profits. They're looking for
No, it
revenues.
doesn't.
And that's just what it is. And if you really care about this game and you really want to play it, then you have 2 other platforms to play it day one, PC or PS5. And if you really want to play it on your Xbox, it'll come to Xbox at a later date. But I mean, you got guys on here talking about, oh, I'm not supporting your game. It's whatever. You're putting Xbox on the back burner. You weren't going to buy the game anyway. You didn't even know about the game. Stop trying to act like you just took a sale from them when they didn't have your sale in the first place. Like,
Exactly.
this little fake outrage and this little fake, oh, I'm not supporting you anymore. Like, you never supported them. They don't care. It's all good. They're gonna have the support from the people who are already supporting them. They'll be fine. Like, stop with these hollow threats. You weren't going to buy the game anyway. So yeah, it is what it is. If you want the support, more third-party support coming for Xbox, you're gonna have to get on Xbox. It's not on these indie developers. That's on Xbox for not prioritizing their platform. Their platform has the least amount of players. Their platform has the least amount of player support. And this is why, when it comes down to it, with smaller developers that have limited resources, limited developers, limited time, they're gonna pick the platforms that they have the best chance of getting their money back with. And it's usually PC, PlayStation, Switch. Xbox is like the lowest one on that rung, and you have to either accept that. You can get, like I said, you can get mad, but you're gonna have to, don't aim that at the developer, aim that at Xbox, because that's the position that they put themselves in. So, if you're welcome to get angry about it, because I think you should, but you're aiming that anger at the wrong people. Don't aim it at the developers, aim it at Xbox. And that's really all I got to say.
Weep.
Yeah, I haven't really heard about that game either, but yeah, it's typical that game, and I guess that's probably gonna have more and more because there's really no reason to put it on Xbox unless you're gonna put it on Game Pass. But then, yeah, it's not gonna make you a lot of money.
I
Um,
don't think it was in Game Pass,
It
but it
wasn't. It
might
wasn't.
have
He was just
been.
saying
no,
unless.
Oh,
yeah, that Game Pass is basically the crutch of Xbox now
mm,
because because
Mm-hmm.
because people are expecting a game to come to Game Pass, and that's why they're not buying it, or they refuse to buy it because it's not coming to Game Pass. So,
Yep.
so there's absolutely no reason to put your games on Xbox if you want to sell your games. But yeah, if you're an indie developer and you can make a deal where you can get your development costs, recover your development costs. Yeah, I mean, then Game Pass might work for you, but I think that honeymoon phase is over. Microsoft has
Mm-hmm.
no reason anymore to give these developers ridiculous sums of money for their games. Now we're going to see the real earnings model, and that's probably not going to be very favorable for if you're a small indie developer who doesn't really have a lot of negotiating power with Microsoft. So
Exactly.
yeah, I mean it's what we've been saying. It's going to happen more and more. So yeah, uh, sucks being an Xbox gamer, but I mean you brought this on yourself. I mean
Mm-hmm.
you had ample chance to make, like, you should have known since last generation that this was not never going to happen. So I mean, yeah, suck.
NA, what about you?
I have nothing further to add. Morgan and we said it all. That's everything that needed to be said.
This dude. So when we start a normal podcast, all of a sudden you're ranting about Xbox. Now, when there is an actual conversation about Xbox, this dude is silent as fuck. Okay, I
I
see.
mean, what am I supposed to say? They said everything.
I mean, I told you
What
so.
are what What are your
Okay.
thoughts? What are your thoughts, Omar?
Um,
You talk a lot.
I said it. I said what my thought was that in the past they were using words like money hate,
Money
money
hat.
hat,
Money hat.
but they
Yeah.
can't use it right now because this game was literally in IDF. Heck, it got revealed at ID Xbox.
I mean, let's be real. They
So
haven't been able to use money hatting in a really long time. They just
the
they just make that phrasing up half the time to try and make
Mm-hmm.
themselves feel better about why they're getting skipped. But then half the time it's proven wrong because the game is often coming to either Nintendo Switch and also PC at the same time. So yeah,
The
it's
real
just
reason they use Money Hat is because they don't want to put the blame on Xbox. It's not Xbox's fault that these games are skipping. No, 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 no. It's these developers. They're just hating. They're just ponies. They just don't want to bring games to Xbox. But
yep,
the truth of the matter is that there's usually a reason. Half the time, PlayStation isn't funding these games or giving them any type of money. PlayStation's, they're minding their own business. They just come to PlayStation because, hey, PlayStation is where the gamers are, right? If you want to sell your game, that's the console to do it, right? But they don't want to accept that. No, no, no. It's not because PlayStation has more players. It's not because PlayStation has the ability and to market my game or to to get my game more potential of sales. No. It's because you hate Xbox. That's the only probable reason that this game would skip my platform, is because you got paid by PlayStation to keep it off, because
How
they're,
dare you?
they're anti-consumer, they hate competition, and they know if it came out on Xbox it would sell the most, a bunch of bullshit essentially.
Yeah.
That's the real
But
reason.
to me, what really solidified this is this was revealed at ID program. Like how bad
And again,
are
that
developers
is on
suffering?
Xbox, because if you allow something on your program and you're not going to that studio to making sure that, hey, do you guys have everything you need? Do you need more money, more time, more like marketing? What do you need from us to make sure that this game comes out well on our platform? Then yeah, that's on them. That's on Xbox. They didn't do what they had to do to ensure that that game could come out on time.
Yeah.
Just the same way they almost left Baldur's Gate 3 hanging out, to dry, because, people were like, hey, the Xbox fans had to get on Xbox, like, hey, it's not going to come to Xbox, until later. Can you guys like drop the priority, the parity clause, for S, so we can get this game to come out? And it's like Xbox, Phil finally had to come out in a tweet and says, we're sending Xbox people over to, Larian Studio, so that, we can get this game running on Xbox. And people were finally, so they were clapping, yay, thank you, Phil. I'm just like, that should have been done. Y'all are clapping for this man for doing his damn job, what he's supposed to be doing. Like, y'all have to beg and plead for him to send help to Larian, so that these games so that game could come out on your platform. It was
Mhm.
ridiculous, and they finally decided to drop the parity clause for that, just for that game. But honestly, that was just one example of why they need to, because you got another indie developer coming out and saying they don't have time, and I could guarantee you it's because of that damn S, that they just can't get it to they don't have the resource and the time to get it to run on both of those systems, both of those SKUs, to come out at the same time as PS5 and PC. But again, the Series S isn't a problem. Everything's fine. It's these developers; they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what they say, at least.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna add fuel to the fire. I wanted actually to end it here, but very quick. The dude that left the studio that Xbox bought the publisher?
Tango Works.
Yep.
Yeah, he made his own studio. Yeah.
He started, Shinji Mikami started his own studio.
Well, according to the bots, he was gonna be
He
retiring.
was gonna retire. It's
That's
over
why he
for
left, because
him
he was
soon.
retiring.
Clearly retiring.
Mm-hmm.
What this feels to me, and I said it to you in DM, is it feels like big shot they just want to be independent.
Yep.
They are tired working for big pharma. Big publishers, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, he's close friends with Kojima, and I think, just talking to Kojima about, he's been discussing to him about, life of being a head of a studio, working for a publisher, and I'm sure Kojima told him, like, hey, look, there's a lot of benefits working for yourself. You just make publishers
Hey,
hand
if
you
you're
money.
Kojima, you got a
I
blank
mean,
check from PlayStation and
true,
you
but
got
I mean,
a.
he's a goat in his own right as well, though. So I'm sure if
We're gonna
he
see.
was able to come out with a game, I'm sure, like, if he pitched it to either PlayStation or Xbox, I know that either one of them will probably be willing to fund it
Not
for him. So
not everyone gets a happy ending. Look at Mighty number 595. Mighty
Mighty,
number
wait,
5
what?
9.
and 9.
Wait, what game?
It's from the creator of Mega Man.
No.
Not creator.
It wasn't the creator. He was a producer or something. Like
Okay,
that's
producer.
kind, that's
Okay,
kind of
Okay,
the
yeah, but I say that's
problem.
not the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I've
that's
heard
kind
of
but
of,
that.
kind
yeah,
of, kind of the problem with lots of these people. They're advertising themselves from the creators of blah blah blah, and
Yeah,
they barely
and they
were
just gotta
involved
help.
with it.
mm,
I
they're
would
Yeah,
say
not even
more along the
Kickstarter for it.
oh boy, who made what was the Dead Space spinoff game that didn't do as hot?
Oh,
Callisto
Oh,
Protocol.
Callisto Protocol, yeah. But
yeah,
see, he was
Callisto
easily
Protocol.
able to get some money for that, and get PlayStation to market that just because of his name. I mean, it
Mhm.
didn't do well, but he was still able
Yeah,
to get that funding because of who he
but
was.
yeah. Innate, feel free to edit it after the outro.
Yep.
What? Edit this?
Where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and yeah, Other Nation.
Wait,
Otter Nation.
did you want to say something, Weep?
What? You just asked me for the outro.
Yeah, but I thought you wanted to say something. Unless I misunderstood you.
No.
No.
Okay. Thank you for coming through. Morgan, where people can find you. Shout out for you coming through.
Yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit. Just struggling to balance all of these games that I want to play.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm going to finish one of these damn games one of these days. But that's up to my
Basically
ADHD.
cloning yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean that's really up to my ADHD of what I'm gonna finish this month. But yeah,
Good luck with
uh,
that.
Otter
Because
Nation.
your issue, you're juggling too many games at the same time.
I know, but I can't help myself. I just see something
What is it?
shiny.
FOMO?
Yeah, I'd be like, ooh, something shiny.
I know what
I'd
it
run to it.
I know what it is, and I will say it off air.
Oh man.
Innate, where people can find you.
Yeah, on Twitter at the real innate. And unlike a lot of these other podcasts, individuals actually playing games.
Oh
Because
man. Lies.
yeah, that's what we do here. We don't, you know, just go to industry events and accept sponsorships from companies. We
Oh.
actually play games, unlike some of
Yellow
these
Sheriff.
podcasts.
No
Oh man.
idea who you're taking shot at, but I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Let me know off air. As for me, shout out for everyone that came through. Great conversation. Shout out to the ladies that made our new logo. Fabulous.
Shout out to that. Yeah.
And shout out to Nate
Yeah.
and Morgan for
Beautiful.
getting that shit done. Um,
That beautiful otter.
as for me, it's so cute. Even my wife was like, yeah, that's super cute and adorable. I never imagined our logo to be something like that, which make it even more funny in an adorable way. Yeah, people can find me at Karab_Job on Twitter and Otter Players podcast every yeah, every well, we have had people have had time change, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know when we go live. Otherwise, yeah, Vitamin G podcast every Monday, 8 p.m. So now 7 p.m. It's a time, or maybe 8. Hey, we always let you know when we go live. Feel free to understand it. Turn off the